Hallelujah.
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 Give all praise, all glory, all honor to the Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yah, by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Yah is righteous
Yahweh is righteous.
all the time.
All the time.
Thanks unto Yah this day, for his mercy endureth forever. And we bless his holy and divine name. Kara, 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 laya, kiyon. The Hashemia Bemeru Kokum. Puralaya, kiyon, kila olam kisedu. Barugataya, Shakat, Bayemes, Bayemus, Nefesh, Wara. Hashabat, Baruch, Kisrael, Bihariah, Yah. Call to Yah. Make your voice be heard on high. Thanks to Yah this day, for his mercy endure forever. Bless Yahweh, worship him in truth, strength of body and spirit. May the Shabbat be blessed for Israel by the hand of Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And giving all praise, all glory, all honor to the Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yah, the great King, Israel's Savior, and their Redeemer, not only unto Israel, but unto the world. Master of masters, King of kings, omnipotent one, who was, is, and forever shall be. To him and him alone deserve honor, glory, and praise. Blessed now and forevermore be the name of Yah our Elohim. We thank you for this beautiful gift known unto us as the Sabbath day, which he has given to us that fear and reverence his name. We thank you for allowing us to see another day in the land of the living, a day which we have not seen, a day which we will not see again in its entirety. It is unique unto itself. Praise Yah, and we say thank you. And we greet each and every one of you here with the greetings of peace on this here, the Sabbath, by saying Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And all tuning in by way of all social media, as we greet you and glad that you are with us, and we extend to you the greetings of the Sabbath day by saying unto you Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let us turn now our scriptures. We may start with our readings. Of course, those are found in Psalm 122, the next in Psalm 92. Be following in Psalms 23 and ending in Exodus 20th chapter. First, our readings can be found in Psalms 122. Let us turn there. It states as follows: I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of Yahweh. Our feet shall stand within thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together, where the tribes go up, the tribes of Yahweh, the testimony of Israel, to give thanks unto the name of Yahweh. There are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within our walls, prosperity within our palaces. For my brother and companion's sake, I will now say peace be with thee. Because of the house of Yahweh Elohim, I will seek thy good. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let us turn to Psalm 92. Proceed on to Psalm 92 and read from there. Psalm 92. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh, and to sing praise unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, upon a psalter, upon a harp with a song sound. For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither does the fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, then they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies shall perish.
All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall thou exalt like the horn of a wild ox. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ears shall hear the desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like the cedar of Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of our Elohim. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let us turn now to Psalm 23. Psalm 23. Psalm 23. Yah is my shepherd,
I shall not want.
He
He
maketh
maketh
me
me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou hast prepared a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anoint my head with oil, and my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahweh forever.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Finally, let us turn to Exodus, the 20th chapter. For it's here where we find the words of Yah most precious, even 10 commandments, which he wrote on 2 tablets of stone with his own finger at Mount Sinai, delivered them into the hand of his servant Moses. With these 10, the Almighty began an everlasting covenant with the children of Israel, never ceasing, never ending. This became the foundation of our relationship with the Creator. When he spoke these beautiful words in the days of the children of Israel of old, that pertaineth to them even to now. Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh the Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no Elohim before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is heaven above, the earth beneath, or the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them or serve them. For I, Yahweh the Elohim, am jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy to the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh the Elohim in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, manservant nor maidservant, cattle, nor stranger that was in thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all in the midst, and he rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, maidservant, ox, ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunder and the lightning, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoke. And when the people saw it, they were moved and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, Elohim have come to prove you, that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Praise
Praise
my
my
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yah is righteous all the time, both day and night.
Hallelujah.
He's giving all thanks, all glory, all honor to the Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yah.
Hallelujah.
Give him thanks for life. Give him thanks for his goodness and his many wonderful works which he have bestowed upon us. Any comments from anyone at this particular time from the floor? And may make them at this time.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All praises, all glory to the Holy One of Israel. I said hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to just give all praise and glory to Yahweh. I want to thank Yahweh for strength. I want to thank Yahweh for allowing me to rise up this day. I want to ask Yahweh to continue to look over my family, my sons and my daughters, my brothers and my sisters. To look over my wife, to look over my mom, to look over everyone that I love and care about. You know, these days and these times here have been some challenges, you know, some bumps in the road. But, you know, I read something last night, and, you know, when you stand up and you stand firm on Yah won't let you go. He'll let you fall. He'll let you scrape your knee up. He'll let you get busted up a little bit, but he ain't going to let you go. Not if your heart stayed on him, and not if you stand firm on him. And I'm thankful for Yah, and I'm thankful that Yah continues to let a little light shine upon me, to shine upon my family. You know, we don't have a whole lot. We got everything that we need, and we thankful for that. So unto this day and forevermore, I always continue to give my praise and give my thanks to the Creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Anyone else? Shabbat shalom.
Mic check 1, 2. Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom. I just want to give praises to the Most High for health. For the last couple of weeks, I have been sick. I had thought that I had strep throat, you know, I had the cough and then, you know, the runny nose and everything. So, you know, I had went to the emergency room and, you know, by the grace of God, they told me I ain't got strep throat nor did I have COVID. So, you know, I just want to praise God for that because, you know, in our home, in our family, we don't, you know, take a lot of meds, you know, all this over-the-counter stuff. So, you know, if it's something that you know, you need, you know, like some cough syrup or something like that. But as far as all these like injections and these, you know, these things they giving you at the hospital saying that these things are supposed to make you better, that's a lie. These things that they're putting in you, they don't even know what they're putting in you. You know, we just all lab rats to everybody, you know, to scientists. So, you know, I want to praise y'all for, you know, good health and knowledge because if I didn't know, you know, things that I know today, then, you know, I probably would have, you know, gotten the COVID shot or, you know, been getting all these, you know, flu shots and all these things that people, they supposed to keep you healthy and supposed to, you know, help the body and everything, but the Most High ain't tell us to do all of that to ourselves, you know. He ain't, you know, get all these shots and take all these pills, you know, if your child playing too much or they have a very energetic spirit, your child have ADHD, so, you know, give them all these medicines and things. And I just, you know, want to praise the Most High for, you know, just the knowledge that I know today because I was, you know, it's been a long time, but, you know, I was one of those parents that thought that, you know, your child's supposed to get all these, you know, these measles, mumps, and all this, you know, these vaccinations that they say. It was when, you know, I met my husband that, you know, I started, you know, looking to these things myself and listening and really opening my eyes to stuff. So, you know, it puts you in a whole different perspective of things. Like, people today are saying, they have couples. I seen a commercial that they had a couples on there once. They got the COVID shot, the other one wasn't, it wasn't really on that. So, they got these people on here with the COVID shots trying to, talk people into getting these injections and all this stuff put into their bodies. And honestly, I've seen more people pass and die that gotten the COVID shot and all these other different things, they're telling you schizophrenic and take this medicine and you got bipolar and all these, where did this stuff even come from? People are human, so I don't understand, if you get upset, you got bipolar. If you're too happy, you got bipolar. I don't understand. I don't understand, and I guess it's not meant for me to understand. But the Most High, He is very wonderful. I was sick. I was very sick. I was sick enough to the point that I couldn't eat. Sleeping was hard and breathing. But I just did the normal things that you do that we grew up on, that I did grow up on, that my mom, taught me, take your cough syrup, make sure you got your vitamin C, get you some rest and, stay up under the covers at night. If you sweat, go ahead, sweat the cold out, how they are. And so, I did that. And, I gargled, with a little salt water and, some medication that my husband had got me. But as far as anything else, letting them put this in me when I was at the hospital, do this, run all these crazy tests that they can try to bill you for later, So, and I feel great today. I feel wonderful. I even, I felt myself, when I was sick, I felt myself, being a little sluggish and stuff, and that was understandable because I was sick. But I actually didn't want to do anything. But as time went on, and and I started taking my vitamins again and the turmeric and moringas and things like that, my body started feeling so much better. I got back to doing some working out and stuff because at first I couldn't do anything, so I got back to working out, eating better and stuff like that. So if you the most he is a wonderful Yah. I just want to just thank him for restoring me to where I'm supposed to be at. Getting me back to, my right health and, keeping me, keeping me on my toes about things, some things that also happened, in the time that I was not here for those 2 weeks, my dad died. He wasn't my biological father, but you can't tell me that he wasn't my dad because before he had any children, I was there. So, before he had any of his own biological children. So, that was a little difficult to, deal with. I'm still kind of dealing with it because I just can't believe that he's gone. But, he does things for a reason. And, I believe that it was his time, because, sometimes you never know. It's things that going on in people's life, their health and things like that. So, maybe it was his time and his body was just tired. So, they're just little vessels, so, another thing with that, it was difficult because of how he passed and, after he passed, it's issues, with, like having funerals and stuff like that, and, money wise, and I understand all of that because, it's that time of the season, the year that, bills are a little bit more. They still have, this COVID going on out here and, people finances are not where they should be. People have, children and things they had going on themselves trying to stay afloat. So, you just gotta trust in Yah and, just trust in Yah and believe, that yeah, he has you. he has you, I have been hearing, some materialistic things about, funerals and stuff like that. And a funeral should be this way, and a funeral should be that way, and it's how you want to send your loved one off. So, I just want to, praise y'all for my life, my family's life. My mom has been doing good. I've been able to visit her and stuff like, when I was sick, it was hard, her calling me all the time. And she like, man, come over. And I was trying to get me little ways to get me over there and stuff. And I got to keep telling her that I'm sick and I'll be over in 2 days. And I'll be, pray that I'll be well in 2 days. But it don't work out like that. But, I got to see her the other day, do her hair and stuff like that. Had some dinner with her and, actually got to go see her, like 3 days in a row. So, I want to praise y'all for that. And the love of my family here. Hallelujah, I praise y'all.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And our condolences, of course, are with you and with the family. And not alone, no man, when that time comes where anybody understands fully what's going on, the working of the Creator. That's one of the things where it says the secret things belong to Yah. That's one of the things you won't understand. You won't understand the time that man go to his long home. Because of course, if we went on our understanding, just think, the world might be overpopulated. But we would never let nobody go to their long home.
Right.
Over the many years, you said Abraham would never, if it was up to him, Abraham would never let Sarah go to her long home. Rebecca would have never let Isaac go to his long home. But when we understand the Almighty, or we search the Almighty, we understand that that is the way in which all life is. And we talked about that last week. It's the cycle. It's the cycle. And it comes, and we all face that cycle. And many of the wise try to take as much of the hardship away as they can in life. It's a very, because that's a very emotional time. You get very emotional, and emotions spill out in many different forms and ways. So people that can and are equipped, they try to take some of that sting away while they're living. Because there's no need to fuss and fight over how a funeral should go, because the funerals are not for the dead. They don't care nothing about that. They don't care about that. They don't care how much a coffin costs. It's not gonna do them no. It don't do them no good. It's not like they're gonna rise up and say, "Man, y'all put me in this cheap $1,000 coffin." The funerals, and I'm saying that because people see everything needs to have a purpose. The funerals are closure for the living. It's closure for the living. It's a form of ceremony that the living must go through so that can help them to start to deal and come to grips with what's going on in this time. They had already done had they say. And that's why it says in the scriptures, it says the dead cannot praise Yah. But it's the living. It's the living that must go on as I do this day. It's the living that must do. And so we come, it's a part of all of the process. But it's nothing for families to be falling out, because I see that a lot myself. Nothing for families to be falling out, fussing and fighting and carrying on at the funeral, at the grave site, acting nut. None of that. None of that. It's a time for everybody to mourn. It's a time for everybody to start to go through the process so that they can heal and and have some semblance of learning how to carry on. Because it's an adjustment. Take something away, it's an adjustment. And that's what that's what the mind is trying to do. The mind is trying to come to grasp the adjustment that I have to make with this now being removed out of my life. And one of the hardest things for the mind to do is adjust to change. So it's an adjustment. But once we understand all the dynamics, it would, as I said, we look to the Creator, it would take away. Well, that's why David wrote, shall I say, weeping may endure for a night. He was being euphematic. He said, but joy will come in the morning. This because it's all process. This has a season, and you can't avoid going through that season. But the mind will, you're resilient enough that it's not the term of getting over, but you're resilient enough to adjust and learn how to adjust yourself and carry on in a different manner. So we don't never want to forget them. We don't forget them. We carry them around with us if we have love for them. But we just have to readjust to how we are maneuvering with this person not around or not in the midst of us anymore. Yes, ma'am.
Not strong again. I want to ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, my little sister, who he was her biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
When my dad was alive, my sister didn't, she didn't really like spend no time with him.
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't really like go to see
Yes, ma'am.
him and just do the things that are older, because she is his first, his first daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that he's gone, you know how they say, the person who did you wrong or something like that at the funeral, they be the loudest one.
Yes, ma'am.
My sister, she dealing with that. Because even though, they didn't have any, it wasn't feuding or nothing like that, or, they hadn't been mad at each other or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that, I guess my sister just didn't go see him and stuff like that, just didn't call him, and then after years passed and stuff, she had seen probably after like 2 or 3 years, maybe walking down the street in the grocery store or something, and they would do this for a long time, like exchange numbers, and she's supposed to go see him, and he's supposed to went to go see her, and now that he gone, she dealing with, I would say it's guilt for not spending the time and doing the things that she should have been doing with him when he was alive. And now that he gone, she making this big old fuss and everything. And you can't tell nobody how to grieve and you things like that. But I just be wanting to tell her to shut up. I be wanting to, I don't know how else to say, I just be wanting to tell her, like, girl, when he was here, you should have been doing all, man, he gone, you going through these emotions, and my question is there a script or something, or a verse, anything, that I can tell her, that she can read over herself, and something that just needs to be pounded into her head that he gone, ain't nothing that you can do about that now. Like, I don't know if you
Well, one such scripture that have wisdom in it, is Ecclesiastes, 3rd chapter. Not only to her, but to all, to everybody.
Hallelujah. Ecclesiastes chapter 3.
Verse 3. Verse 1. I'm sorry, verse 1.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build, a time to weep, build up, excuse me, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing.
So in other words, yes, go ahead.
A time to get, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. What profit have he that worketh in that wherein he labored?
That's good.
Hallelujah.
Because all things in this life have a time. And as we said last week, life is really designed to prepare you for death. So what you do in life prepares you for when death comes. What you do in life carries over unto death. But when death comes, that's it. That's it. It's the finality. It's the final. It's the curtain being dropped on the production. It's the end of the movie. That's it. Only don't rewind it. Don't come back. Nobody can have a time stone where they can reverse stuff, make it come back. When it's gone, it's gone. And if we, on the heels of last week, if we understand that, if we as people understand that, then we might function and do a lot better than what we are doing. Because that's the finality of it. Because Ecclesiastes 9th chapter.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9.
And we have to come to that understanding. All of us. That's why, as I've come with each year to understand things, where there is no great law or great transgression, I don't make up one. I don't make up one. And I know what those, and what's the great transgression? Well, the great transgression is the worship of something other than the Almighty. So outside of when, especially my family, is doing something other than the great transgression or some kind of great wickedness, I take every opportunity I can, if I can, to make sure, even with them not serving Yah, that I be and dwell with my family. Because that's not the spirit of the scriptures. The spirit of the scriptures is not to take you away from your family. But so many come into this way, and then because the family don't know nothing about Yah, they all devils. And I can't have nothing to do with them. And they wicked. But as soon as they get sick, when they can't appreciate all your love, can't appreciate all your goodness, can't appreciate all your kindness, then you want to run. And you want to cry. And you want to be there. And you want to hold people. And you want to hug. But why couldn't you give that same energy when they was alive? Who knows that if we did it when they was alive, who knows what they would have done, how they would have turned. But when we cast them aside and totally gave up hope on them and said they're not as good as me because I know Yahweh and they don't know Yahweh, and I'm not going to deal with them at this time, and I'm not going to deal with them at that time, and I'm not going to deal with them at this time. Mike talked about that. He says that's a smoke in his nostrils. He said that's the holier than thou. And many people get so entrapped in their lives that not only dealing in just the creator, but social status. I get to another status, and I'm far too better than to deal with you. I'm far too greater than to deal with you. Or I got so much going on. I'm so busy. And we all busy. Who's not busy? I'm busy. I'm busy. And yes, I mean, because I made no bones about it. Y'all know that's part of dealing with me. You might call me and what, Brother Hakai, what happens?
You're going to get a voicemail.
You gonna get a voicemail. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Because it's not like I'm just sitting around in suspended animation, waiting on somebody to come and beckon my attention. Then, oh, they want me. Let me go. No, I'm busy doing other things. That's called understanding.
Yes, sir.
That's called knowing that somebody else have a life.
Yes, sir.
And have things to do.
Yes, sir.
That's called maybe their life don't have as much downtime as my life has.
Hallelujah.
Because I got other things that I have that they doing. They got things that they doing. They got more responsibility maybe than I have right now. So I don't get upset when I call and I can't get my brothers or my sisters, or they can't just drop everything and come. You don't do that. But that's called understanding. And not that they don't want to bother with you, they nasty, or and all this whole foolishness. It's understanding. Especially if they eventually do reach back out and say, hey, brother, what's up? I got your message. What's up? Now, you'll know if they somebody avoiding you. Or they make that perfectly clear.
Yes, sir.
Huh? And then you even deal with that. That ain't even nothing really to get all bent out of shape about. You just deal with it how it is. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of us, we use so many things. Like I said, because we don't fully grasp. Because look at what Ecclesiastes 9:5 say.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 5. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything.
Who know they're gonna die?
The living.
The living should know. Huh?
Yes, sir.
We have enough testimony around us. Huh? The living should know and accept that one day, as they stood over someone gonna stand over them. As they plan for someone gonna plan for them. The living should know this, that one day they too will what?
Will die.
But the dead
know not anything.
And that's why I said the funeral is not for the dead. Funeral not for the dead. What they care about what kind of suit they in. For you and somebody else to be fussing and fighting, talking about, I don't put him in that suit. Oh, you paying too much. What? That's our vanity. I joke, but jokingly aside, that's what I told him. I said, man, no. Even when you're going, because that's the time people can be taken. So even if you have to go and make a ring, no, go. This is still wisdom. Because that's a time when people like to take people as well. What is this? You want this kind of coffin. And it costs $7,000. And now you got a $15,000 funeral. For what? For what? It's not like nobody gonna hold you accountable to that. It's not like I have yet for my father to come to my house and visit me and my sister say, you know what? Y'all pick the cheapest coffin y'all could find. And it's not gonna do it. For the what? The dead know not what?
Anything. Neither have they any more reward.
If y'all have to plan for me, like I tell them back there, if y'all have to plan for me, use my life. Use my life. And if you know me in life, you knew I was a what? A simple kind of person. Don't need to be extravagant. Huh? If you know me and I dwell with you, when you walk in, you'll say, yeah, that look like that. That look like that. Because when I had a business of going with my mother, when we buried my grandfather, and I went with her and I said, and we picked out his ensemble, I said, that's granddaddy's suit right there. And she looked at it, she said, yeah, that look just like granddaddy. Huh? I did it based on what?
How you live?
How I live with him.
That's right.
The time I spent with him. So I knew what looked like him, and she knew what looked like him. And so everything we did, she was, that's Big Daddy. That's Big Daddy. Because we knew that's what Big Daddy would have been. That's what he did in life. Nobody had fuss. Oh, you didn't spend enough. That suit ain't. Nobody went through all that. But the dead know not anything. Neither have they any more of what?
Reward.
They ain't getting paid. They ain't getting no satisfaction out of nothing. Huh? I ain't telling nobody to break down and just, get some plywood from Home Depot and start nailing boxes.
Couple 2x4s.
2x4s. Come on now. We
Perfect square.
But if people are listening, can rationalize what I'm saying. I'm saying all the changes that we go through when somebody does pass don't need to happen. And most of the time we go through those, people go through those changes, it's because of regret and guilt for what they didn't do.
Yes, sir.
While the person was alive. that they trying to make up for in some form of fashion now. But that's not helping that person. There's something you trying to appease, and I'll tell you, it's not gonna happen because you don't get tomorrow back. You don't get tomorrow back.
Sure enough.
There is no reward. For the memory of them is what?
Forgotten.
And what? 6.
Also, their love
Their love
and their hatred
that they can display to you
and their envy
and their envy
is now perished.
is now because guess what, people? And we're gonna talk about that later. Guess what? Guess
What?
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 Read that again. Their love,
Also, their love
uh-huh,
and their hatred
their hatred,
and their envy
their envy
is now perished.
is now what?
Perished.
Perish.
Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun.
And that's why when you
Hallelujah.
involve yourself with somebody, it has to be a relationship based on the whole person, based on things other than some things we're going to talk about in a minute. Because when you're with somebody and you have a relationship, a true relationship, you get their love, you get their hatred, you get their envy. Huh? Y'all don't miss me. Y'all ain't following me.
Nah, we with you.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You get everything that come along with this person.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you better pay attention to when you gauging what type of relationship you're going to have with this person. Because you're to get all that. Again, you're to get their what?
Their
Their
love
love
and their hatred
and their hatred
and their envy
and their envy.
is now perished.
And that's just some of the things that people are made up of.
Yes, sir.
That we love, we can hate,
Yes. Yes, sir.
we can have some envy.
Yes, sir.
We can have many feelings and emotions.
Yes, sir.
So what one needs to do is see if they can enter into, or how they enter into a relationship with this person and those emotions. Because how do they show those emotions? Some people show hatred and they might go to 1,000.
True. So true. 0 to
And
1,000.
that might not be what you can deal with. So you're like, oh,
They ain't got no in between.
you know,
They all the way high. They
So
all the way low.
this kind of relationship got to go right here.
Yes, sir.
This kind of relationship, so this person, they go right here. Because they deal with their things and the way they are a little different. These are called nuances. But these are the relationships, building blocks of relationships. But it says once they're dead, you don't experience that person's love no more. How many times have people said, what I wouldn't give to hear because of the love or because of the person? They said, what I wouldn't give to hear grandma cuss me out one more time.
Uh-huh. I want to get just to see it.
Just to hear her
Yes,
cuss me
sir.
out one more time. When she cuss you out, it was
Yes, sir.
it was hardcore.
Yes, sir.
But you won't hear that again.
That's right.
And now you sitting there, man, I wish
I could hear you.
I could hear that one more time.
Yes, sir.
Especially when you grasp that her cussing you out was for trying to get you and keep you in line.
Yes, sir.
You say, I wish I could hear her voice one more
She
time.
is the only one that always kept me in check.
I wish I could see them do this. I wish I could see them do that. That's what this is saying.
Yes, sir.
So what we have, so if that's knowledge is what we come to understand, but we know once they go the way of all flesh, they can't come back and give us that. Then we have to learn how to get as much of that and we could tolerate and if possible while they are alive. It's
Hallelujah.
called, it's a little word called appreciation for one
Hallelujah.
another.
Hallelujah.
See, there's something called love, but there's something called appreciation.
Yes, sir. Appreciation go a mighty long way.
I appreciate you. You don't just say I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the things you do. I appreciate who you are. I admire you. Don't always have to say tell people I admire you. These words mean big things to people as well. Oh, you admire me? Some people don't know they admire. They think ain't nobody look. They like, oh. And they might have, like you said earlier, now you get all these labels out here. And I'm not saying that labels have to go, but you get all these labels out. You don't feel admired? No. Well, you got exponential blockage syndrome of the mind. You're like, what is that? Something they just done made up, some quick diagnosis. Now you walk around internalizing. What's wrong with you? I got exponential blockage of the mind. Huh? What?
You said I'm a little slow.
And what they say about it? Well, they wrote me a prescription.
Yes.
Yeah. It make me hyper when I take it, so I can think something of myself. Well, ain't nothing wrong with you.
There ain't nothing wrong with you.
Ain't much wrong with you, except that you hear what they told you had, that you think so little of yourself, and you don't get enough confirmation from other people that means something to you.
That's right. Hallelujah. That's right. So true. So true.
Because you might not hear people say to you, I love you, I admire you, I appreciate you, which will go a long way to your cycle.
That's
and
right.
your thinking.
Yes, sir.
That's why, I believe that when you tell us to honor our mother and our father, that they, that they live on, land. That's why, because the way that she's kind of like dealing with it is kind of I believe, like how you were saying that you don't spend no time with them, on earth, and then when they gone, you want to do all this extra, this little extra stuff. My sister, she deals with things like, first of all, my sister is not. So, I guess I'm in a way I'm kind of like I want to know how to talk to my sister about it. I might need a little help with that too because sometimes she tell me my words are very strong, whatever, but my words be real and sometimes I don't have time to. I don't want to be around her, but sometimes people, they say that you can say it a little bit. Maybe I need to learn how. That's my problem. I need to learn how to sometimes speak a little soft, I guess, or I try to think about my words before I say them. So maybe I can, you can give me some on that.
And we all can. That's why you'll see me sometime in the man that I teach. You'll see pauses and you see me maybe retract and find a better. It's like I said just then. I said, "Fool, ain't nothing wrong with." Well, that's insult. You said, "Fool," ain't nothing. Now somebody listening, they might have been with me until I said "fool" because that's insult. And so I had to retract and come back and soften that up because, you know, that don't work for everybody. Some people I'm with, I can be like, man, fool, shut up. Yeah, you just. But when you're in the midst, again, that's learning how to deal with. Go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Stay there. Go
Yes,
to
sir.
the 12th chapter.
12th chapter, Ecclesiastes chapter 12.
I found that
Oh,
in my
yeah.
travels with Moray. There's some people Moray could talk to a certain way. You see? Then there's other people he knew, talking to them like this and ain't gonna work. That was even in class.
Yes, sir.
There's some people he talked to and he ride them into the ground. And people be out, oh, man, I wouldn't take that. And that's why he never talked to them like that. There's some people he could let his guard down and be more personal with, and some people he couldn't. Because this is what you learn. Because Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter,
Yes, sir.
verse 10, and this is verse 9 and 10.
Hallelujah. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
I knew a teacher one time, she was trying to teach a student, so she asked the student, she said, do you understand the question that I'm asking you? Because the way she was asking the question is they wasn't getting it. He was like, So there was somebody else sitting there, a tutor who was sitting there with him, and they asked it in a different way. But that tutor knew the student a little bit more than the teacher did. So they asked the student in a different way, the same thing she was trying to get him, but they asked him in a manner in which they what? Knew that the student could what? Understand. And when they asked him, then the student comprehend what was being asked of them, and they were able to work on solving the problem. Because it's also, again, that's in life. He said what? Moreover, because the what? Preacher was what?
The preacher was wise.
He still
taught the people knowledge.
Yea.
Gave good heed.
And what?
Sought out and set in order many proverbs.
And then look at 10.
The preacher sought to find out acceptable words.
Acceptable words. You have to kind of figure out what kind of words a person, when you're dealing with people, you have to figure out what they can accept and what they can't accept. Again, this is part of knowing people. That everything, one size don't fit all. You have to know who you're dealing with. One way you deal with somebody can crush another person. Even Yah's like that. He don't deal with everybody the same. One way he deal with one person, it would crush somebody else. But he know everybody. That's why he said, I know every soul is mine. I know every soul I'm dealing with. And I know what will crush them. I know what will uplift this one. I know what will move this one. I know how to move that one. And what I said, you can't even though they come from one stock and one home, yes, it's a baseline, but you even have to use that baseline as your parameter when you're dealing with your children, because it's different things that'll motivate your children. Yeah, they're from the same surrounding circumstance, but they still individuals themselves. And you have to find them things that'll make them tick. I can tell this one to do something, and they might do it. I can tell this one to do something, and they might not be motivated to do it till I find out what motivates. Okay, you get some I bet you. And then you see them, wow, they gone. I know because I've used it. I used it with one of them. I said, okay. I said, I got you. I'll get you some of this if you do that. They done went. Now they come and show me what they done did. They done went above and beyond. But they motivated. They motivated.
Right.
Huh? I done hit that button. Because they're different. So where you can be, and that's what I tell a lot of people, where you can be forthright with some, be straight with some, as they say, no chasing, huh? The hard liquor,
Right.
other people can't. Other people are drinking and they gotta spit it out. It's too hard for them. So you have to back off. So you say, oh, they need a little chaser, they need a little softener for it to be accepted. And then so you learn. And not to get too much into it, because we can talk about that problem. But the situation that they're in is what they're in, then they already telling me something. And that's they're trying to cope with things that otherwise they can't cope with. And that's the tool that they're using to cope. Because it's a lot of things that's in their life that right now is not desirable. And that's the mechanism in which a lot of times some people use to cope with those things. That's why the scriptures say, give that to them that are ready to perish, and them that's of a heavy heart, that they may drink.
Yes, sir.
And when they do this can get them away
From their words.
from their misery.
Yes, sir.
And their worries.
Yes, sir.
And that's why a lot of people turn to substances, all substances, natural or chemical.
Yes, sir.
So that they can cope. It's a coping mechanism. The young lady that could run real fast, she turned to, and that got her a little hot water. But at the death of her mother, that was her coping mechanism. And like I said, it took her down the road. It got her into a little hot water and everything. But that's the way she had to cope, because she had no other way, to her knowledge, of coping. And so when people do that, I tend to know that there's always something else that's going on. You'll find it very prevalent in Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
You'll find that it's very prevalent in Hollywood, because when people get out there and they do the things that they asked to do to become big time stars or big time rappers, and make no mistake about it, that this stuff go hand in hand, the promotion of alcohol and drugs amongst the elite, or what they call the elite, or superstars and stuff like that. Because sometimes you get out there and the things you have experienced and lived, you need to forget a lot of that stuff. And I always say it as a teacher, more and more of them are starting to come out and tell that, because there's sometimes a price to pay. It's not like old school.
Yes, sir.
Those people are not even appreciating. You just lost another old school. We just lost another old school and a gym that
Yes,
many
sir.
young people don't even know about. But he was a heck of an actor.
Yes, sir.
If it was not for him, you would probably have no Fish Burns,
No black
no
screen.
Wesley Snipes,
Yeah. Nobody
no
on that
Denzel.
silver screen.
He did that, but he did it with dignity and with a righteousness. They
Yes,
didn't
sir.
give in. And so my family go out to him talking about Elder Sidney Portier.
Hallelujah. Rest his soul.
He's in that same vein as Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
They're in that same vein.
Yes,
They
sir.
didn't make those compromises. They didn't do everything they asked them to do.
That's right.
So their career, their tout, their level of success never got blown up out there where people looked at them and said, that's who I want to be like. Because they didn't dance and flip to everything that everybody wanted them to do.
They wasn't no shucking and jive.
But they were great for our people.
Hallelujah.
He played great roles.
Yeah, that's my favorite song I sing on
He
Saturday.
played great roles. I saw one of the first, he played one of the first roles. He played one of the first roles, and this ain't getting off the Sabbath. I'm talking about Esteem. He played one of the first roles where you saw a black man put his hands on a white man
Yes, sir.
in the heat of the night.
Yes, sir.
White man slapped him. Sidney Portier character slapped the mess out of that man. He started crying. That white man started crying. He crazy character was crying. He said, years ago, I could have had you killed for this. I mean, he slapped him into next week and brought him back. That's how hard his character slapped him. But that was unheard of to see that on TV. Unheard of. He was one of the first to be able to play a role like that.
Yes, sir.
But he was a strong man that was uncompromising when it came to Hollywood and the whims of Hollywood and things of that nature. He didn't get caught up in all that. And that's why nobody, as I said, because the wicked rots the righteous. But you can't find nobody to point the finger at him and say, he was doing this, he was doing that, he was giving people this, he was giving people that. You can't find a soul to point the finger at him and say that.
That's right.
I ain't saying he was without sin, but you can't find us. You can't find us, so it's hard to find a soul that's gonna do it and gonna have the gumption and courage to do it, even if they know something. Huh?
It's amazing.
Because of the kind of person that he was.
94 years old.
And it was a good thing to see him get awards before he left, to see him get appreciated before he left.
Oh, yeah.
But many people do those substitutes because they, like I said, there's something there that's eating at them. And so in dealing with her, if you're asking me, she is one that kind of will need the kid glove because it's a lot of residue of a lot of things. Harshness will only drive her further, or a person of that nature will only drive them further into the abyss that they are already in. And so there's a certain way most of the time that you have to be in trying to help them and bring them out. And that's a little choice. That's a little choice. Little choice. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. It don't mean that somebody won't get life and death. You can uplift the person's spirits, you can crush them. So it's good that, and if you can't, and if one can't do it, then we be like the Almighty. Moses said he couldn't speak. Chris said, well, that's good. That's no excuse. We can still get the job done. Here come your brother Aaron. He speaks very well.
Yes, sir.
What you can't do, what you can't say, tell him. He'll get it conveyed. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know. But life, death is a cycle. So all the scriptures is always giving us a look into both of them and how to deal with them. Because like I said, once this part of the journey is complete, it's done. So we have to appreciate everything that it offers us. Even with, as my brother said, even with all his trials and all his tribulations, the many things that throw at us, the many hardships. I don't know nobody that don't like being here too much. But that's why they here. The time that you don't like being here, you try to check out, which is not good. But if you're here because you know on this side, to your knowledge, it's better than crossing over to that other side.
Hallelujah.
So why not appreciate it while we're here? I was in Kroger's, and that's what I like about working with the people that they call developmental disabled. They authentic.
Yes, sir.
One of the girls I'm in Kroger's, and they have them working there. And one of the girls, she works at the end of the line when she's bagging it. And all day long, you just hear tell people when they come in the line, she, welcome to Kroger's, da 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 da. How's your day? And I was standing there because a lot of people, this how far our spirits are messed up. A lot of people get so annoyed at that and get mean and and why are you talking to me like that? Or ignore or brush off. And I'm saying, that's goodness. That's kindness. That's cheerfulness. That's everything we holler about. Ain't enough of it in the world. Then when we come and find somebody to give it to us, Why you doing? Why you giving me on? Why you greeting me like that? Why she gotta do that? Why she gotta tell everybody that? You know what I'm saying? You know, I found it very uplifting. The whole while I was standing in the store, I even started laughing. It was merry. It made me merry. But some people with but she have that. What she's showing is that natural, authentic, unabated appreciation for living.
Yes.
Something that us that with a so-called right mind dismiss every day. And here she's displaying the happiness and joy of even being alive, even being there. You tell me who got something wrong with them.
All right. Yes, sir.
Huh? So yes, we can eliminate those guilts that we have when death comes. Because if we understand that death does come, it's inevitable. And again, if we understand that life should be lived knowing that death is coming and that it's final, it's finite, and let's live. Let's live appreciating life. Let's live. Let's live appreciating the Creator, the Almighty. So many of us don't live appreciating Him. That's why there's so few. In a lot of connections, that's why it's so few. They don't appreciate the Almighty. They don't appreciate the Almighty. The giver of life.
Yes, sir.
Only reason why we're here. Huh?
That's right.
Don't appreciate the Almighty. And that's where it starts with.
Yes, it does.
There's a serious lack of appreciation for the true and living Elohim.
Yes.
Idols get appreciated all day long. But for the true and living Elohim, there's so much lack of appreciation.
Show you right, my right.
So much lack. He has to carve out one day that we abstain from everything that we do under the sun that don't have to be done, that can be blocked out, that don't have to be ran after. And all he asks is for one day to show him and grant him some appreciation. And most of the world won't even give him that. And you didn't have to wake, and I didn't have to wake up today or any other day.
That's right. Hallelujah.
And that day and this time comes quick. About another hour or so, the day will be gone.
Yes, sir.
So unappreciative are we as people to the Most High. So it's no wonder we're so unappreciative to each other. But as Chris said, we will. We will. As he said, the day coming, said Yah. Huh?
Yes, sir.
That he'll make a man more precious than fine gold. A righteous man. Not any old man, but a righteous man. When they become like that, then maybe women will appreciate them. But let me tell you something. You can go say 7-1, that don't mean that there's just an overflow of women. That same righteous man gonna appreciate them 7 women that's around to even recognize him as being righteous, because it ain't like there's a lot of women around. See, we just stop and be short-sighted on the scriptures, but don't think it's just a ton. No, that's just a ratio. That's just a ratio, because in the destruction of any civilization, it's always more women than it is men. You go to any war And you're going to always find that there's more women that survive than men. That's why in Germany, and it always balances out. That's why in Germany, so many German women became citizens of the United States or had children that became citizens of the United States. Because there were more women after the German War in population than men. In Vietnam, there were more women in population than men. Because war is always waged by and on the man. Even scriptures tend to that. That's why the Creator says, if you will, in the law, if you will find you a woman after the midst of war, and she's desirable, and you bring her home. He said that because in the commandment it was already given when we went to war, you go after everything, every man moving, you seek to wipe him out.
Yes, sir.
You seek to wipe him out. So that's what that's saying. That in any conflict, the woman is always, and children, they're always going to be looked and left in population terms more than the man. But the reason why that one man is going to be with them 7 women and them 7 women going to be with that one man is because of a deep appreciation. A deep appreciation and realization of what you have.
Hallelujah.
Because you have something that you can't take for granted now. Because it's not a lot of us to go around.
Yes, sir.
That's how I know the spirit of it is different today. Because people they'll grab a bunch of women, but they take them women for granted. No, you're not fulfilling that prophecy. Because you take them for granted. And you get tired of them, you grab some more. But that's not what the Almighty said there. He said, because there's a deep appreciation and realization. There is no taking each other for granted. And that's why he said, even the fruit it produces shall be lovely.
Hallelujah.
Because the whole situation is lovely.
Yes, sir.
But yes, right now they need a healer. And as odd as it seems, maybe you get to play that role. Because you really don't have to tell them nothing. Because they feeling the brunt of everything themselves. Like I said, that's why they carrying on in the manner in which they feeling the brunt of all that. It's really them crying out to everybody else. And they need some, and so when somebody cries, that person like a baby, when it cries, it needs somebody to what? Hear them.
Come tend to them.
To hear them.
Yes, sir.
And tend to them. And that's what they need. They need somebody to hear them. Because they're carrying around a tremendous burden that's self-internalized. They don't need nothing externalized. It's self-internalized.
And he did tell me, Shabbat Shalom, but he didn't tell no one that he said.
Mm-hmm.
So, she dealing with,
So
if I went to go talk to my daddy and see him, maybe he would, and he would have more entrusted in me that he would have told me, but he didn't tell nobody. So
yes.
to go to the hospital, to
Yes.
find out like that and things like that.
Yes.
So, I think she dealing with a lot
As
of
I
that.
said, it's a lot of burden.
Yeah.
It's a lot of burden. And trust you me, it don't need to be piled on. It's got its own weight.
Yeah, I try to pick and choose my words, girl.
Yeah, it's got its own weight.
I don't know how. I don't know how to talk to grieving anyone. I don't know how. I mean, what you say? You already know.
Well, it's very little talking.
Yeah.
It's very little talking, and it's more, as Murray used to tell us, with anything, Almighty gave me 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth. Because it's more solving a problem, really is more listening than it is speaking. That's why the Creator says in the book of Isaiah, when he makes references to scriptures like this,
Isaiah.
and there's several of them in here. Let me see which one I want to grab. Yes. Go to 42.
Isaiah chapter 42. Hallelujah.
Start at 18th verse.
Isaiah chapter 42, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Hear, ye deaf, and look, ye blind, that ye may see.
That you may see.
Who is blind but my
And
servant,
then he's going to tell us who is blind but my servant.
or deaf as my messenger that I sent?
See, he ain't say a word about speaking. He ain't say who was mute. He said who's blind. In other words, they're not what?
Look,
Seeing things.
can't see.
And who's deaf? They're not
Right here.
hearing. Who's blind but my servant, and deaf and my messenger that I sent.
Who is blind as he that is perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and blind as Yahweh's servant.
And that's how we are as a people. We blind and we deaf. And then look what the Creator said.
Seeing many things,
Seeing many things,
but thou observest not.
but we don't take it in. And we seeing many things today. That's why I tell people, no, it ain't a big argument to teach this word, because it's right here. Almighty is making the book come alive. He's making everything that the righteous and them that's trying to be right stand for. He's making it come to life right now. But Chris said, for a lot of people though, they'll see many things and not observe it, not take it in, and open their what?
Opening the ears,
Opening the ears,
but he heareth not.
but not letting it sink in.
Yahweh is well pleased.
They can never solve the problem if that's the case. If they don't use their eyes, I'll be with David sometime and I'm working with him in schoolwork, and I say, well, what's this? How do you solve this problem? And he does this. I said, you can't solve it. Put your eyes on the problem.
Right.
Oh, you're looking in the air. I see people, and he's not the only one. People take tests. They do that all the time. They get to look and
It's up there.
after the thing taking my test at the BMV, I saw people, they were just looking at this wall, looking at that, looking down at this wall. I said, because part of it, and that was the thing I learned. Even all this time, that was the thing I learned. That even in the test, the answer is written right in the question.
Yes, sir.
If you have studied and you know how to study, you pick out key words, the answer is written right in the way they're going to form the question.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
For a lot of times, that's why you get it wrong. It's something minor that you might have read too quickly and didn't observe, and you say, oh, yeah, that, and then you be like, oh, I knew that. Because they threw one or two little words in there that wasn't supposed to be there to trip you up. Why? Because you saw things, you just saw something, but you didn't observe. You just read something, but you didn't take it in.
That's
But
right.
once you take something in, you say, what's the key phrase in that sentence? Bam, got it. Now you see that key phrase, you look for that key phrase, boom, boom, got it. Huh? Got it.
Hallelujah.
And that's how it is. But you ain't gonna find it on the wall over there. You can stare there at the wall till kingdom come. You ain't gonna find it. Or in the air, it ain't gonna fall out the sky. And that's akin to how we are as a people. We seeing many things all day long to let us know that Yahweh and Yahweh alone, not Christ, not the person of the New Testament. I don't know how to drive this home, but that the Elohim of the Holy Scriptures of Old Testament, he and he alone is the true and living Elohim. And we see him display himself on many occasions. Don't look and see if this is right because the person you know that's telling you about it is right. Because they're fallible. But look and see if what they are showing you, the Almighty himself have bore his hand and made it known. And there's many a things, many a wonderful works that he have done and continue to do to show that this here is his truth. And he alone is to be worshipped, honored, and praised. And that he and he alone have the answers to all our problems.
Amen.
All our problems. Because I got problems.
Yes, sir.
You got problems.
Yes, sir.
The world have problems.
Yes, sir.
And the only one with the answer to all these problems, the one that has the master key, is Yahweh and Yahweh alone.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yahweh.
But he said, we see many things and won't observe. We open our ears, but we don't hear.
Yahweh is well pleased.
It said, but Yah has a desire
For his righteousness'
for
sake.
his righteousness' sake
He will magnify the law
to magnify the law.
and make it honorable.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Hallelujah.
He's letting us live in such a chaotic state in this world, thinking we don't have to follow the law. Notice I didn't say that the law is done away with. I said he's letting us live in a world thinking we don't have to follow the law. And the world is so chaotic. And through that chaos and our concept thinking we don't have to follow the law, he's magnifying how much the law is needed. And it should be honored. Because we have nothing but murder running around us. He's magnifying how much the laws on murder is needed and the judgment thereof. Yesterday, 3 men had life in jail. 2 without the possibility of parole. And this don't have nothing to do with their skin color. So this ain't racism or nothing else. But I'm here to tell you, because I want to have a desire to magnify the law.
Hallelujah.
And I'm here to tell you that they didn't get what they deserved.
No, they did not.
They didn't get what they
No,
deserved.
they did not.
Not for the murder of a young man, the torture of a young man
That's right.
that spent his last few minutes on this earth in peril,
Running for his life.
great distress, and all the many negative emotions that plagued him. They didn't get what they deserved.
No, not at all. Not by a long
For the shedding of innocent blood, they didn't get what they deserved.
No, they didn't.
To tell them they can go on still waking
They
up,
live life.
still living life, still
Interact.
loving, hugging,
That's
at
right.
least seeing
Show
somebody.
they hatred.
Yeah, they're confined, but somebody can still come and see them and place their hand. This young man's family, nobody can go and see him. So what did they deserve? Well,
Yeah.
not because Brother Aaron said it. But if you have the desire that Yah had to magnify the law and make it honorable, what did they deserve? Go to the book of Numbers. Now people say, yeah, they got what they deserve. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Not in the sight of
They
Yah.
didn't get nothing close to what they deserve.
They say, well, I'm not for the death penalty because the people that use it, they don't get it. Well, they should. And they will. The wicked will one day.
One day.
It's coming.
Yes, sir.
But that had nothing to do with if this is righteous or not. And what did Yah say? And it's not to celebrate. If they would have given it, it was not to celebrate, because we were not to celebrate it. But this is just the righteousness of Yah. And as I said, maybe if some of this was going on, the inhabitants would what? Hear and fear and depart from this wickedness. Because what does Yah say is a full measure of justice and judgment? Numbers, 35th chapter.
Numbers 35.
And 30 verse.
Numbers chapter 35, verse 30. Whoso killeth any person, whoso killeth any person, the murderer.
The what?
The murderer.
We're using two terms. A lot of people, the Bible says thou shalt not kill. No, it don't mean kill in the sense you can't kill. It means in the sense you cannot murder. You cannot shed innocent blood. You can't come up on somebody with guile, hatred, enmity, murdering, plotting, planning, like these men did. You can't run somebody down like these men did. You can't torture somebody like these men did. You can't take a person's life with no righteous justification like these men did.
That's right.
So what? He's looking at a bunch of 2x4 and a concrete slab. And you talking about he's committing a crime. What he gonna steal? Concrete? The other 2x4? It was foolishness. No, this is just a display of your hatred and malcontempt and guile that you had for a certain person. I see people go look at homes under construction all the time. I ride and sometimes look at homes under construction. Oh, this is what it looked like before they put everything on there. Oh, okay, that's the skeleton of it. Oh, that's how the staircase goes. I see people do it all the time. So murder is the taking of innocent life, shedding innocent blood. And the Creator said, whoso killeth any person, the what?
Murderer.
The murderer
Shall be put to death.
not a life sentence, not a double life sentence. We're going to give him life plus 20 years. What is that? What is that? The other get life, but the possibility of parole. No, Creator said what? Any person that killeth the murderer shall be what?
Put to death by the mouth of witnesses.
As long as we substantiate it, that is true. And that's what they were. They were a murderer. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Then the what? By the
mouth
witnesses.
Of witnesses.
But you can never put somebody to death on the account and the information of what?
One witness.
They can never testify and you believe it where you'll put somebody to death. One witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. And even when you do sentence the murderer to death, 31.
Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of the murderer, which is guilty of death.
That's why I said I wouldn't have rejoiced, but I know that was the only right thing and is the only right thing to be done.
Yes, sir.
Not that I would have rejoiced, but that's the only right thing in the sight of the judge of all the universe.
Hallelujah.
Is that as they snatched and took a life, so must they give their life up. That's why Mother Rebecca told Isaac, or told Jacob, son, I need you to run. Huh?
That's right.
Time and place for everything under the sun. She didn't say,
Hallelujah.
yeah, son, stay here. And if Esau come and roll up on you, you split his head to the white meat. Huh? And she said, no, I need you to what? I need you to run. This is the time I need you to run. I need you to get away. Because number one, your brother Esau, his disposition is different than yours. His disposition always have been different from yours.
Sir.
He always have been a Hellcat from the time y'all were born.
Yes, sir.
Whenever y'all wrestle, he got the best of you.
Every time.
He toss you around, pin you down here, lock you up there, and I had to break y'all up because he's a fighter. That's just how he is.
Yes,
You're a
sir.
little more passive, son. And that haven't changed even since y'all grown up. So I know that if he, in his anger, roll up on you now, he's going to kill you. And he's not going to kill you for no righteous or justified reason. He's just going to kill you because he's angry, he's out of control, and he blames you for everything. All his guilt, he blames everything he feels, he wants your life. She said, but let me tell you something why I want you to run. She said, because if he kills you, I don't know divine judgment. And she said, if he kill you, then I got to kill him. Huh? Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? She said of him,
Yes,
why should I be deprived of
both
two
my
sons?
sons. That's
Both
right.
my sons. That's what she knew. If he murder him, I can't say, oh, got my baby.
The unjust murder. Kill the innocent
He
man.
got to go. Esau got to go.
Can't save him. Because it's the law of the
Because that's
land.
the only thing that make what? That's going to make that situation what? Right.
Just. Balance.
And just
Yes, sir.
in the sight of Elohim. Not that you get to go away for a long time, hang out with most of your partners,
Act like you on vacation.
act like you on vacation,
Get a
keep
better
up with the
education
same,
and everything.
keep up with the same corrupt life
Right.
in this facility that you were living out here in these streets, which is what happens a lot
Might
of
even have
times.
a better life than what he had on the streets.
They talking about building better prisons. We just
Right.
saw it on the news yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Then we just see it. State-of-the-art prisons.
Bringing more and bringing some of the amenities of
Better
life
stuff
back.
that people working every day gonna have.
Yes.
Huh? No. Creator said again, what? You should have no satisfaction in the life of the murderer, which is guilty of death. But he still shall surely be put to death. You should take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of refuge, that he should not come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. But look at 33.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
You should not pollute the land wherein you are.
For blood, it defileth the land.
The blood will the shedding of blood, the shedding of innocent blood, that will defile the land.
And the land cannot be cleansed
And it cannot be cleansed.
of the blood that is shed therein
But
by the blood of him that shed it.
so defile.
Not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit.
Wherein
I dwell. Yahweh dwell among the children of Israel.
I'm supposed to be
Oh,
with you.
yeah.
That's why back in the 80s, 90s, we said, peace, God.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Peace, God.
Hallelujah.
we was trying to come into some kind of consciousness, so we started calling each other God. What's up, God? We knew he wasn't the God, but we was trying to come into some kind of higher consciousness. Because the Most High was supposed to be dwelling with and among us. And we were supposed to be a people working on a high consciousness.
This Maureen, this scripture right here, praise Yah, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This right here, this brings a lot of light to a lot of things, if you think about it. It says in this 33rd verse, so ye shall not pollute the land where ye are, for blood it defileth the land. They said the blood defiled the land.
Yes.
And you think about all the innocent murder that's happening all over the United States in all our beloved brothers and sisters' neighborhoods. So much so that they did a study that says the children and the people that reside in these neighborhoods where all this murdering is happening, they suffering from PTSD.
Yes.
And then you read the scripture, and then it goes on to say that the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So you looking at that and you like, man, all these innocent people that just died, that just got gunned down in the street, that was babies playing on the sidewalk and a stray bullet just caught them and killed them. The only way that this land is going to be healed is for all these people, all these murderers to die.
Somebody has to be accountable and
Hallelujah.
held accountable. And the accountability have to be as they took a life.
Yes, sir.
Then they must be willing to give their life up. That's why some of the old school men, even when they're looking for retribution, and they roll up on you. The elders sometimes they would come up on you and they say, "You ready to die?" I'm ready to die today.
Yes,
See, it was for them and that's when you knew they were real. They wasn't trying to come up on you and do something to you and then walk away and be like, let me get away with it. No, they come up to you and they say, "You ready to die?" Looking you square in your eyes. They say, "Cause I'm ready to die. What you want?"
Yes, sir.
Now you knew, you like, oh, wait a minute.
Yes,
Whatever I had in my mind, you like, hey, no, I don't want to.
Yes, sir. That's
Yeah.
right.
Huh?
That's right.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Because there ain't no one of us walk away from that. Both of us, we in this thing.
Yeah. That's the men used to talk back then.
In the old
Men
Western movies, that's how it was.
If you smacked a man, it was a gunfight.
In the old Western movies, they go into town for a shootout.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
You know?
And then when the law come,
He ain't running.
I ain't
He
going
ain't
nowhere.
dodging. The only one that was running was the
I ain't
one.
going nowhere. Because they understood this principle. If we really gonna do this,
Yes, sir.
then it's a good thing. It's a good chance that ain't neither one of us getting up out of here.
You know what? Men would stand up men back then. Even though this man got a problem with you, before he raised his hand to you, he'd come and talk to you.
Come and talk to
Hey,
me.
brother, you got a problem with me. What's the problem we got?
Because we working on a higher level.
Not today.
Not today.
You don't even know you got a problem with somebody.
Don't even have to have a
You
problem.
don't even know you offended somebody.
Don't have to have
and
to
you-
offended.
You don't. And you don't. I remember being on the block and I used to hear brothers say, man, if I knew somebody that made $100,000, I'd be trying to rob and kill them. And I'm like, wow, that's horrible.
And that's
Instead of you going to try and get it yourself, you want to try and take what this man done worked hard and sweated for. He came from the same place you
you
did.
did.
You mad at him because he done crawled himself out the gutter, but you still in the gutter waddling in it, but you want to come and take what's his instead of doing what he did to get out.
And that's why, and like you said, that's because we fell so low.
We
See,
fell
righteous
low.
man.
Yes,
A
sir.
righteous man ain't gonna come and say, man, let me snuff you out. You more, because understand this, you're more valuable alive to me than you are dead.
Yes, sir.
Because you can still, because alive, you can keep teaching me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the fighters, he said, man, I put everybody around me, I never let them go until they taught me what they knew.
Mm.
He said, then after they taught me what they knew and groomed me, he said, okay, if you want to go, now you can go. He said, but I kept them around me so I could what? Learn. And now today, I'm in a position that I used to look back and say, I want to be like them. I'm in that position now. And people that want to get where I'm at, they ain't, let me go take it and bring it. Nah, come to this well and drink from it.
Drink.
You don't tear the well down.
That's right.
You don't knock the well down. You keep the well there, hoping that it's got water above and water. That anytime you go and dip in there, you can, And it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a bad mind. I'm grimy. I gotta take. You ain't gotta take. Man, let this man teach you how to get the same way he did.
Well, people don't even want to do that no more, right?
But
You can have a immaculate skill, immaculate trade.
Well, let me tell you why.
And people don't even want to come and learn underneath you. And if they do come, they're like, nah, you know what? I need to be making
And let me tell you,
$80 an hour.
and let me tell you why. Because they have the spirit of the wicked, which is the spirit of Cain.
Yes, sir.
Because the Creator said Cain, that would be his attribute, is that he would take. Wherever he went, he was a fugitive and a vagabond.
Yes,
so wherever he went, he brought death and destruction and taking. He never came, and see, that is the concept of the East versus the West. When people, I'm not teaching racism or hate of skin color. I'm teaching what's real.
Yes, sir.
Because most societies that came out of Europe, most societies that came out of the West, they were destructive people. They were people that believed in strength and might. And that's how you rule. So you take. The whole Eastern concept was different. The Eastern concept was, which was always in the divine, was it's enough in this big old world for everybody to get some. And if you want some, I can even share with you how to get it.
Yeah.
Because it's enough for everybody.
And when they first came to these shores, that's what they was greeted with.
But that's a righteous concept versus a wicked concept.
They seen these people suffering
And the world,
dying.
and the
They
world,
didn't walk on this boat dead.
the world has
Show
failed.
y'all how to live right here. Let's show you how to eat some food. Let me show you how you survive over in this part of the world.
And what did the wicked do?
They took that knowledge
That ain't good enough.
and then they took everything
They took it.
and they used it against.
They took
And
it.
that's something that a lot of people do today. They take knowledge, they take who you is, they learn things about you, and then they take what they learned about you and use it against you.
That's because we wicked.
And then look at you, like, why you mad at me? I ain't did nothing wrong to you. I just told the truth. You ain't told no truth.
Because that's what offsets envy. You look at people when they're fighting about power and control.
That was a question this week on the internet.
You see? You ain't gotta fight. Like I said, I ain't have to fight with nobody. I have words that's good. This person has words that's good. They have an understanding that's good. Going back to what I asked my sister, I said, everybody might not like my voice, might not like or follow how I deliver it. So what am I to get upset that there's another person out there that can speak and can reach them? As long as we reach them with the truth.
That's it.
So what I'm gonna get upset at?
That's right.
Oh no, it's got to, if it don't come from me. If it don't come
And
from
who
me.
said it had to come from you? Yahweh got so many vessels out
And
here.
then what he told prophets?
Man,
He said, you don't think you don't.
don't think you're the only one. I've got prophets
I got
rising
500 that
and
have never
singing
bowed.
from bedtime to rest time.
They
I'm
never
sending
bow
people
to
all
this.
day, every day.
So you can never think this about you.
There's people waking up today like, man, I don't know where I got this from, but I'm gonna go tell somebody.
And this is all the mind of the Almighty being revealed, because that's where we at.
Hallelujah.
That's where we at. Huh? Appreciation. I appreciate my life, therefore I appreciate your life. Because I appreciate my life. I appreciate your life. Short of you trying to take my life, I ain't got time for all that stuff. Short of you trying to take my life, then I'm not interested in taking your life. Because I appreciate life.
Hallelujah.
And Scripture says, I appreciate the life of a beast.
Yes.
That's why I try to give a thorough teaching. I don't and never will subscribe to veganism or vegetarianism, but I understand our people and we wasn't just gluttonous. When we killed beasts and slavery, because it meant something. It had purpose. It was not just to kill. Because when we raised animals, when we raised our stock, we became fond of them.
That was a weapon they used against the people.
We became fond of them.
Yes.
The sheep gave us clothing, things to make clothing out of,
everything.
Tapestry and beautiful things.
Yeah.
We became fond, especially raising them from right out the womb. We became fond of them.
They hear our voice come to
so we appreciated them. So it wasn't just we had other things. We knew how to eat. We had other things to eat. The fruit we could get. The grains we could get. We didn't just have to kill. When we killed and ate meat, it's because it meant something.
That was one of the most wickedest displays
But people just now there's no appreciation because things are taken for granted. And everything in this world is taken for granted.
So much so that a lot of the animals now they dying off. You can't even say they're trying to mix animals now. All the animals is dying off. Animals have been here forever. Even now, the elephants is they worried about the natural born elephants. They worried about these elephants because there's more elephants in captivity today than it is in the wild.
Yes.
And they worried now.
Many of them are facing that. Many species are facing that.
And they got new species that they unleashing on the world.
New stuff, period.
Yes, just like what's going on in the Florida Everglades. That's overran by big snakes now.
New stuff, period. So, but yes, a lack. So, if anything is understood as a close this out, a lack, not just a focus on love, but appreciation, admiration, all the attributes that we can show to one another.
Only the death of the murder.
Yeah, only the death. That's right. And that's what the Almighty is bringing man back to. And on the small scale, even in wickedness, they going about it the wrong way. That's what makes it wicked. But on the small scale and in wickedness, even these cats out here, they just don't have the other part of the formula. Even these cats out here in the street, they know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why y'all might say the law is
sir.
good. That's why they don't want to talk to no police
Nah.
when something happened to one of their homeboys. That's why they don't want, because the blood is boiled. And they know who the murder, and they know like I said, they need all of the equation given to them. But the only thing they can feel right now is the only way that this evens out is that whoever took my homeboy,
You gotta go.
he gotta go. We don't want to see him in no handcuffs.
Nope.
We don't want to see nobody walking him in protected custody.
We want to see him in the same place.
We want to
my
see him
people at.
same place. But they just,
Nah.
it's just in wickedness, and they don't know how to go about it in righteousness. And so
But they seek the revenge.
that's blood, and there you go. It's vengeance.
Vengeance.
It's vengeance.
But then you get into the what is it called? The Avenger of Blood.
It's vengeance. But that's why the Almighty gave it. That's why I said you have to read this whole thing. That's why He give you the qualifier and the warning. So defile not the land. And how you do that? Don't even start off being a murderer.
That's right.
Detest murder.
Hallelujah.
Detest taking innocent blood.
Hallelujah.
So that nobody else blood have to be taken. You can only have that spirit when you raise in the law and the righteousness of the Almighty, which is not found in a lot of our homes among our people. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I think we covered that. What time is it? 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
No other questions to be brought forth.
I do, I just gotta think.
Mm-hmm.
I do, I just gotta think about it, I do.
Okay. Any questions from the internet? Any questions from any of our social media? And we say we're going. If you have any, you can type it in. We'll check. We'll get it. If you have any, whether it's coming from off the internet or social media, it's just as valuable as what is coming from the audience. So don't be hesitant to send it.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom.
Yes.
I had a question about marriage. Is it not okay? Okay, for me, is it not okay for a married woman to basically tell your business to your single friends, and expect basically like expect positive feedback from your single, not even, when I say single, not even like dating nobody, friends. Okay, I have a friend. She's married. She has a friend who's not married, but my friend, she tells all her business to her single friend. And I try to tell her, like, because you're not gonna get no positive feedback, especially with the type of person. She's kind of not negative. I guess you could say she's like she's a man hater or something like that. But she thinks it's okay for her to tell her, and she expects this positive feedback from her because she's her friend. And I'm trying to tell her, like, she's not a married woman. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, she telling her, and she expects positive. She be puzzled when it's not something that she want to hear. Like, what?
Well, there's a song that I listen to. One of the lyrics in that song, it says, outside influences should always be forbidden. The problems should be solved and never hidden. Now, he carefully used the phrases too, outside influences, because there's safety in the multitude of counsel if the counsel is right. And sometimes you want to go to outside and outsiders or somebody if it's the right counsel.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So what if her husband is telling her, like, that's not okay with him to? He don't mind you talking to someone, mother, sister, or something, but this person, and this person keeps coming back to the husband,
and
saying things.
I was going there,
yeah.
and that's what I said, and that's why he sung that lyric. Outside influences should always be forbidden. Problems should be solved and never hidden. And I was going to somewhat segue into that, even with the question from last week. Turn to the book of Songs of Solomon.
You say Songs?
Songs of Solomon. A Song of Solomon.
Songs of Solomon. Hallelujah. Song of Solomon.
Give me verse 5 of chapter 8, please.
Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 5. Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved?
Who is this that come out the wilderness leaning upon her beloved?
I raised thee up under the apple tree.
And that statement follows a question mark, and then there's a colon, which means the following statement is about to change. Go ahead.
There thy mother brought thee forth. There she brought thee forth that bare thee.
So what is it saying? This is actually won't even say metaphoric, but this is a construct, and it's not really literal to a degree. It says, for who is this that cometh up from the wilderness? Somebody coming up from the wilderness, they coming out of what?
Out of the wood.
Out of the woods. Think about it.
Okay, out of a situation.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Because the wilderness is
it's vast.
nothing.
Yeah,
They come out of
out of nowhere.
And one see one plus thing kept on. Because that's how every person is that you meet.
Like where they come from? Who is this?
They come into your life, they come out of nowhere.
Yes, sir.
People that you getting ready to get in relationships with, they come out of nowhere. It's rare you meet somebody that you done grew up with the whole childhood life and you have familiarity with. You might meet them and they came out of nowhere. Y'all on the job together and they, on the job is where you met and you start talking. But they're out of nowhere. They came out of nowhere. And that's why I said, who is this that coming forth from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? Question mark. And he said, I raised thee up under the apple tree. In other words, that's not the end. This is all one statement. I raised thee up under the apple tree, the same apple tree, or there, thy mother brought thee forth. There, she, who is she? Your mother. There, she brought thee forth that bare thee. You say, okay, all right, brother, I was talking about then. Well, when she said, I raised thee up under the apple tree, there thy mother brought thee forth, there she brought thee forth that bare thee. In other words, I came out of nowhere. And me and you developing a relationship. But to learn, catch this now, to learn how to better have a relationship with you, I need to go back to the what? One that what?
You go back.
I need to go to the apple tree.
I need to go back to the source that bore the fruit.
Which is your mother.
Yes, sir.
So a good relationship, and me and you having a good relationship, is predicated and can be predicated on a good relationship between me and your what? Mother. Because every young boy that have a good mama, he gonna what? Love his what?
His woman.
Mother.
Yes, sir.
When he seek to find a woman with a worked anything, he gonna be looking at somebody that reminds him of what?
Close to his mom.
His mother.
Yes, sir.
That's why you see in the day of Isaac or the day of Abraham, it was after the death. It tells us specifically it was after the death of who? Sarah.
Yeah.
That's when the servant went and found Rebecca. And everything the servant went and looked for, he knew that these were not only qualities of Isaac, but he knew these were the qualities of Isaac's what? Mother. I done lost y'all, didn't I?
No, sir, not at all.
Huh?
No, we went.
He went and found a woman that when he brought her back, not that she was going to be his mother or even take the place of his mother, but she was going to fill a little bit of that void that his mother left.
That's right.
Becoming close or the closest thing to his mother. And she would be that way if she was the same type of woman. And that's why here in the Songs of Solomon said, I raised thee up under the apple tree. In other words, the relationship and the building of our relationship, I learned how to build it based on your mother.
Yes, sir.
Your mother is the apple tree.
And
I lived on her.
Yes.
To learn how to even love you. Because she raised you.
Yes, sir.
You her son. And the dynamics of a mother to a son, she know them. She know to tell me the things about you. She know me to tell me to do this. She know to tell me, well, when he was 10, he got pampered too much. We might have spoiled him too much. Now she got what? She got insight. Oh, that's what's wrong with the Joker. He like to be spoiled sometimes. Mama giving up she snitching on me. She giving up the goods. Something that he ain't even gonna tell you. Mama might even tell you something, deal with when he get out well, just bring this up. She's snitching on him.
Yeah.
What? Who told you about that? Don't worry about it. Did he call home? Did you tell her, my wife? I sure did. What you gonna?
Why you tell her?
Why you tell your man? Because you acting a fool.
What's wrong with you, Mom?
Because you acting a fool. Huh? She says, there thy mother brought thee forth under that apple tree. In other words, you the fruit. You the fruit that came from that relationship.
Yes, sir.
And then after she established that she's having a relationship with the mother, then look what she says in verse 6.
Set me as a seal.
That's why I said the counsel had to be right. And that's not only that's why I've always taught the dynamics that two individuals is not just coming together in marriage. It's supposed to be, it brings more people together.
Yes, sir.
It brings more people together. Young man, come to me. Man, you better, again, I see this. You better keep coming to me if you want to know how to be effective with songs.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm the one that raised it as a man, and I'm the one that raised it.
That's right.
And there's some things that she might look, that I can tell you, yeah, this is what she's looking for. She was used to this. She was used to that. She was used to getting this from me. Oh, that's what, yeah. I'm going to help y'all build the relationship. See, that's another thing. We go all the way around, we get in relationships, and we try to build them on our own. Blind knowledge. So it's good to have some input, but the input has to be right. It has to be right. It can't be from everybody. It has to be right. You can't go to everybody. It has to be right. You can't get it from the mind of everybody, because everybody is not looking to help build your relationship. Some people are looking to tear it down.
Yes, sir.
So they can come in and try to build over top of what they tore down. So you have to make sure that the sources that you're getting it from are correct sources.
Yes, sir.
Because some people, like I said, they say, oh, she got a good thing. He got a good thing. Shame he don't know it. I know it. So let me just discard them. I can make a home there. I can work with that. So be careful. But that's why she says in verse, and so then in verse 6, she comes along and says, what? So set me as a seal upon your heart. And that's why I referenced that verse in that song. Outside influences should be forbidden. Problems should be solved and never hidden. For so many of us, and that's good, that's your friend. And you're supposed to have friends. But your prospective mate should also be your friend. And if you can certainly go and talk to outside influences about your marriage,
Yes, sir.
but you can't talk to your best friend. Whom the problem is with. Good gracious.
Go ahead, Moray. Yes, sir.
Good gracious, Lord. Then maybe I didn't marry my friend.
Yes, sir.
Because they should be able to play the role of your friend.
Hallelujah.
Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
They should play the best role of your friend. But so many of us don't find our best friend. We don't find it.
That's right.
We don't find it. That's why she said again, set me as a seal upon thy heart. When you seal something, it means you what? Cover it up.
Cover.
To keep other things what? Out of it.
Do it. Yes, sir.
To close it. Close your heart off to me. That's why I love Songs of Solomon. Many people don't teach out of Songs of Solomon. I don't understand why. It's a love sonnet, and it's not just one person speaking. That's why it's called the Songs of Solomon, but it's really called the Song of Songs. Shir Hashirim, the Song of Songs. Because once you study it, this is a song that's bouncing back and forth between Solomon and the person that he's involved. And here is her turn to write and sing her portion of it. It says, set me as a seal upon your heart.
As a seal upon thy arm.
Even as a seal upon your arm.
For love is strong as death.
For love is strong as death. And when it's true, it is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
when it's
it is.
true. That's why when it's true,
yes, sir.
Unequivocal, unadulterated, it is so powerful that you will see a person in a lot of cases not even emotionally, or not emotionally, but be able to give their all to another person and get into another relationship full-fledged because the love they have for somebody that they might have just left or lost is so strong that not even death, in the vows they might say to death be, but not even death tear them apart.
Yes,
They
sir.
say, I'm sorry, I just can't move on with you.
Hallelujah.
You sitting there, is it me? No, it ain't you. It ain't you. But every time I'm sitting here with you, only one I can imagine is my husband or my wife. I just want you to know you're chasing a ghost that you can never chase down.
Yes, sir.
And maybe I need more time. Now, for a lot of people, they've never experienced, so they don't think that that's real, but it's real.
Yes, it is.
I've seen people and their spouse have left them, and they've never been involved with another person. Because love, when it's true,
yes, sir.
when you have love,
that's why they say it.
Strong as death.
When you gotta love somebody, and somebody have loved you back.
And then look what she says. Jealousy
is cruel as the grave.
That's why if the love is real and it's strong, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Because their jealousy.
Yes, sir.
Their jealousy is cruel as the grave. That love, their jealousy, how they guard that love is cruel. Y'all seen that movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate?
Yes, sir.
Boy, she beat him, huh?
Yes, sir.
Beat him to smithereens. He had all them knots and everything, huh? He learned after that not to try to be slicking nobody. She went to work on him, didn't she?
It's a thin line.
It's a thin line.
Very thin.
So you don't play with
That
it.
line transparent.
You don't play with it. When they give you all that love, and it just told you love can be stronger when it's true, it can transcend even death. That's a force you're dealing with.
Yes, sir.
So that's not a force you want to mess with and play with and misuse. Because it might come back. And when it comes back, the backlash is great.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's cruel as the grave.
The coals
thereof. Go ahead.
are coals of fire.
They're coals of fire.
Which have at most vehement flame.
Which have the most vehement flame. I mean, it burns the most. It's true love.
It's that hot blue.
It burns. It's so true. It's so hot. Look what it says.
Many
You
waters
can take many waters.
cannot quench love.
Not when it's true. Ain't nothing that can put that out.
Nothing.
Nothing. You can take many waters, and it can't quench love.
Neither can the floods drown it.
You can have floods, and it can't drown it.
If a man would give all the substance of his house
And love
for
and love and made men do that.
it will utterly be condemned.
Like I said, love and made men go to war.
Yes, sir.
Love and made men give up. What? What? I give all this outside somebody's window. I renounce the throne. Look what love did for that boy over there in Europe. Huh? I don't know. That's love. Boy done grew up a prince. Been a prince all his life. Royal family. Bodyguards. Great inheritance. Huh? Everything. Met this girl. Met this young lady. Huh? I don't know why. That boy told the queen, the prince, y'all had this.
Yes, he did.
I'm out here.
He like, I'll holler at y'all.
Come on, man. I'm out here.
He's like, I don't need all
We
this.
gonna
I got what I
disown you.
need.
We gonna disown you.
It's on me.
You don't get no more royal guard. You don't get no. You all right?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I got my bank account. I'm alright.
I'm
I
good.
got my leg.
You sitting in the interview and she talking, he just looking. Like Trish said, yeah, that's what she said. Is that true? What's she say? He all just, huh?
That's
None of
right.
that other stuff mean nothing.
None of it.
Huh?
Didn't mean
Hey,
nothing.
look now, what spell she got on?
He understood one thing.
So don't think this scripture is just written here. If a man would give all the substance of his house for love, it would utterly be contemned. Because that's how strong a real love is. It's a force. And it's not a force to be trifled with or messed with. But it is a rare force because so many people don't know how to find that, especially in today's world. And that's why things are not built on nothing, except for the wrong things.
Yes, sir.
And that's why many things are not able to stay together nowadays.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not built on nothing. Because as I said, if you can surely talk to an outside friend, then why can't you talk to the friend that's supposed to be your friend, that you share the bed with and the couch with and homestead with, that you wake up to and you go to sleep with, that you've chosen and have desire to be with? Why can't you talk about them? Because I guarantee you'll solve the problem much quicker if you talk to them than you will talking to somebody else.
Hallelujah.
So we got a problem if the friends and talking to them is more valuable than talking to them in whom we with. And that is often the case in situations. People don't want to talk to each other. Admit that there's problems. Admit I got problems. Admit you got a problem. Call inventory. Inventory of the relationship we're in.
Yes, sir.
Where are we at in our relationship?
Yes, sir.
We need to sit down and figure out where we at in our relationship.
Yes, sir.
So the source, and then if we need to bring somebody else, is this something that we need a third set of eyes and somebody to come in and help us with? Or is this something we can maneuver through ourselves? Or is this something we can, because if it make me uncomfortable, and I'm telling you that make me uncomfortable, you talking to your friend, I'm telling you that for a reason. Maybe I know something that your friend is doing that you don't know. Because they sure enough ain't gonna tell you what they doing. But I can sense what they doing. Because they come back telling me stuff and they tell it to me in a manner that ain't helpful. They tell it to me in a manner which it seems like they trying to cause division. And I can pick that up. And what I told y'all the other week about when I worked many years ago, and the one girl was going through her situation,
Yes,
the other
sir.
guy was going. Y'all remember me telling
Yes,
y'all
sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
He was talking to her from the standpoint of he in the midst too. He unhappy too. So he wants to talk to her from to discourage her, to put things in her head. I had no dog in the fight. I wasn't trying to get with her. So when I talked to her from a completely different point of view.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, go on back to your life. Ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all marriage ain't in trouble. Go on back there, man. There's a few changes y'all need to make. Come on. Get out of here. Praise God. She listens. As I knew, marriage, when I left that job, marriage was still kicking. Huh?
Hallelujah.
Because you have, even in seeking whom you're going to be, you have to seek the right person.
Yes, sir.
And that's another thing in listening to your mate, because if they tell you they're uncomfortable, not what you're talking to nobody, but with whom you're talking to, you might want to listen to that.
Hallelujah.
You might want to take inventory, at least consider it. Well, why are they picking on them? They ain't say I couldn't talk to nobody, but they just saying they don't never like me talking to them. Well, you might want to take that in. There might be a specific reason as to why. You can come and get mine if you need one. So, yes, because we had. That's why they sent daughters of Zion away with housemates if they could,
Yes, sir.
aides if they could, attendings if they could, because they knew they would need some help in their relationship. Again, we always go into that well, but it's the right kind of help.
Hallelujah.
It's the right kind of help. And God, and like I said, and if it's true, if our relationships are true, we should be able to talk to one another as husband and wife. We should. That's the first ring.
Yes, sir.
Cause like I said, they ain't even discovered none of the problems you trying to tell. They can't relate to none of that. Nothing. So yes, your business, that's why she said, set me as a seal upon thy heart. Anything happening with us, baby, come to me.
Thank you.
Come to me. Miracle said, don't ask my neighbor, come to me. Don't be afraid. Huh? That was, huh?
Hallelujah.
Don't ask my neighbor.
Hallelujah.
He like you. You think he like me? I don't know. No, he probably don't. Well, come to me. Anything you want to know, I'm learning, and then writing is I'm gonna be true. You want to learn?
Yeah.
If I got somebody, I'm gonna tell you. I got somebody. I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. But come to me. Because that's gonna show off the top where our relationship is at. Now, like I said, nobody in no relationship tells every single thing. Because even that's why the scripture say there's some secret things that only Almighty gonna know. But there should be more freedom and liberty for two people to talk to each other in a relationship than to hide things in a relationship.
Hallelujah.
with some freedom, some liberty. It's easy.
Still not gonna be still talk to, that's all.
You know, from the most serious to the most mundane. I mean, I think you need to exercise more.
Hallelujah.
Pick up a couple pounds.
Hallelujah.
Hey, she might have something. She might have something. You know? Is that right? Yeah. Buying a whole new wardrobe. I bought you them slacks. I thought you look good when we go out. I saw you struggling to get them. You know?
No, that shirt don't make you look right.
Yeah.
You got a couple extra rolls hanging out with that shirt on.
Well, that's friends.
Yes, sir.
That's friends.
Yes, sir.
We can make fun of each other. That's friends.
Hey, nah, bro.
We can play with each other.
You know
That's
what?
friends.
We got to stop at my house real quick, bro. I got some shoes you can wear. You say you wear a 10? I got you.
How do you tell the difference between someone who should stay just a friend versus someone who is deserving of being with you? How do you tell the difference between someone who should stay just a friend versus someone who is deserving of being with you? Very good. Very good question. How do you tell? Well, one way you tell is called time.
Hallelujah.
Like I said, let me tell you, and I learned to tell people all this book is not a magical book.
No, sir.
There's no magic potions that come out of the book.
No, sir. Not at
So
all.
you ever ask Brother Aaron a question expecting to get a magical answer that's gonna solve everything? No, because I know things have parts, things are processes, things are applicable. So how can you tell the difference between someone who should stay just a friend versus someone who is deserving of being with you? Well, as I always say, number one, and you can write these down, anybody listening, time. Time. See, more at least you say, read the scriptures to see what's there, and then see the wisdom that you can get out of the scriptures. Jacob looked upon Rachel and knew she was lovely to look upon, but Jacob spent 7 years dealing with Rachel. He spent 7 years dealing with Rachel.
Yes, sir.
Going to talk to her, seeing her. All of it wasn't even directly. He was seeing her when she wasn't even dealing with him. He was standing back from afar, and he was looking.
Hallelujah.
He said, because she don't even know I'm here, but I want to see what she is when she don't know I'm around. So he was standing back, seeing, she cussing folk out, throwing stuff at people, telling the servant, get down and kiss my feet and all this old kind of. Then he would have been like, whoa, we got to pump the brakes. She clowning. When I come around saying nothing like that. She go, oh, my servants, they love me so, and everybody starts, nah. So even sometime from afar, he was engaged in the relationship. But this took 7 long years. 7 long years. Let's go there.
Where we at, my right?
We're going to Genesis.
Hallelujah. Genesis.
And let's go to the 29th chapter.
Genesis chapter 29.
Sixteenth verse. Let's start there.
Hallelujah. Genesis chapter 29, verse 16. And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Now, why does it say she tender-eyed, and then in comparison it draws to Rachel is that she was beautiful and well-favored. If tender-eyed didn't mean
She wasn't all
she
that hot.
wasn't all that hot. Some people want to, because they've been taught or whatever, that ain't what that means. Yeah, that's exactly what that means, or that correlation wouldn't have been put there.
Exactly.
It says Leah is
She was
self-explanatory. There you go.
Exactly. See Leah in
There
there.
you go.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what it was like. She a little hard on the jokers. You see? I ain't said she ugly. I just said she a little hard on the jokers. She's not preferable. Given the choice, she wasn't preferable. But Rachel, if given the choice,
She was
she was
beautiful.
like you had to treat her like
She was a supermodel or something.
wolves was outside the gate because they was out there. She was beautiful. So go ahead.
Leah, excuse me, and Jacob loved Rachel.
Now that's why I bring that out. I'm not bringing it out to make fun or poke fun or make light of this. I'm bringing it out because, like I said, I like to teach with full disclosure. There is, because you ask, can you tell the difference between someone you should just have as a friend versus someone who's deserving of being with you? There's always a physical attraction. As I tell my boys, I said, look, I try to knock their manhood down a little bit. I said, look, the young lady gonna go out with you. She had already picked you long before you picked her.
Yes, sir.
You running around talking about your map is strong,
God,
your game is strong.
man can't lead a woman. Let's
If
have
she
woman want
didn't,
to
if
be
she
led
didn't
by
want
that
nothing to
man.
do with you, I don't care how many words you got.
Yes, sir.
You weren't going nowhere, Chief. You weren't going nowhere. And I say that not only to knock their manhood down, but to say and get us away from this thing that we think men and women are so much different. Both of them work off of physical attraction.
Yes, sir.
She saw you across the room, and she whispered to the girl. At that time, you can't whisper to your girlfriend anything you want to, because all y'all single. And she made a big deal. Oh, you see him? Girl, you see him? Oh, see him over there? Oh. And she kept pointing him, because to another, you might be chopped liver.
All right.
To her, you feeling me on. And it's the same way. That's why I said I'm not making fun. This was just the way it was when Jacob saw these two. The one was chopped liver. The other was feeling me on.
Yes, sir.
In other words, you're going to like what you like and be attracted to what you like. And attraction plays a part. And it does play a part. You want to be attracted. You want to be physically attracted. Huh?
Yes, sir.
You're physically attracted to the car that you pick and drive,
Yes, sir.
to the home that you live in,
Yes, sir.
to the clothes that you put on. What make you think we won't be physically attracted to the person that we're trying to get with? So attraction. Huh? But it's an aspect This is what you have to write down. These are aspects. There's aspects. It's like I started looking at real estate. One dude, he said I got a 20-something, I can't think of the exact number. He said, I got a 20-something checklist that I have that I take with me at every piece of property I'm about to buy. Thorough. That's where I got that from. You don't check, just look at stuff. You check for what's wrong. Because he's very thorough. And he checking all, he go through the house, and he checking all that. You see, even when they run their mouth, he like, what's this? Let me hit that. Let me do, because there ain't nothing by law say I can't do that. I'm getting ready to spend my money.
What you supposed to do? You take a test drive in the car, don't you do that?
So and his list is very thorough. So that's why I say when you talking about you got to somewhat treat the rest of your life like that.
Yes, sir.
There's aspects. And you got to see about aspects.
Be deliberate.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
That's how you're gonna know the difference between a friend, just a friend, and somebody you trying to make more than just a friend or a friend on another level. So one is attraction. Can't run from it. And that's different from everybody. But even after attraction, even after beauty, look at what happened.
And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve these 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
Now let me tell you something. Beauty alone ain't gonna make no man in his right mind serve somebody for 7 years.
All right.
Not just beauty alone. Not when there is millions and millions of other beautiful women in the world. I can scroll through feeds on my internet right now and see. Hey,
yes,
whoa,
sir.
Geez. That's why Solomon even said, the eyes is never satisfied.
Yes, sir.
You can have the most beautiful woman on your arm already. But let me tell you something. Come walking in, because the eyes are never satisfied. They like the grave.
Yes, sir.
So beauty alone, and I'm teaching this for people to digest this.
Hallelujah.
Beauty alone ain't gonna hold him or her.
That's right. Hallelujah.
If you think it is, better rethink that concept. Implants alone ain't gonna hold him.
Hallelujah.
No matter where you put him.
All right. So true. So true.
Biceps alone ain't gonna hold her.
So true.
Money alone ain't gonna hold her.
So right again, more right.
Status alone ain't gonna hold her.
So true. Yes, sir.
Ask some NBA players. Ask the middle of the rung NBA players. Because it's happened. They're in the NBA. And when I asked them, years ago, I used to ask people, I said, which one is greater, money or power? And that's when I looked at many things. Just money and power. Which one would you rather have?
Influence.
Which one, brother? Power. I said, you give me two guys that playing on a football team or NBA team. Both of them only and making millions. All right? So everything is equal right now. But player A got endorsements. Player A, when he walk in the facilities, everybody say this is the house that he built. Player A, everybody talk about him in an exponential connotation. While player B, although he making money, he can take you and put you at ease and everything. He don't have that. Now give a person a choice who they want to be with. Huh? Because A got what?
Everything.
Ain't about the money. The other one got money too. But it ain't about the money. Player A will to what? Power.
Yeah.
Power, control. And that's what person, huh? So I'm saying that money alone ain't gonna keep it, because if somebody come along and they have more power or influence, even as my brother said, guess what?
Yes, sir.
It was all you had as a defense was your money.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You got to have something else. You got to be working with something else.
Got to.
If you're going to hold it.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. So true.
So that's what I said. That's what I said. And that's what Solomon, or that's what Proverbs is saying, when in beauty alone. It's not saying that don't be beautiful. And favor is deceitful. It's not saying don't practice favor. It's saying on its own, it won't hold the relationship together. So there's many aspects of a good relationship that you find out during friendship stage. Not even during courtship. Not even nothing about courtship. We trying to get together. That's why I always tell my son, man, y'all ain't nothing but friends right off the top. There's somebody you can go up here talking, we didn't have friends. I had to rethink that. Yeah, you make people friends first. You make friends with people first. And that's all y'all are right off the top. You going out with a friend that happened to be a woman. She's not a man. She just happened to be a woman. But right now, she ain't nothing but a friend. And I'm going to find out during the course of us just kicking it as friends. Really meaning that. No pressure, no nothing. I'm going to find out if this can go to another, or if it takes off to another level. Maybe she got to stay a friend. Like I said, I might be exaggerating, but maybe she got to stay a friend because we went to the show and we got popcorn and she was smacking.
Maybe.
And that's enough to turn me off. Like,
Maybe.
she just over there going to town.
Still not sure what her mouth closed.
Yeah, stuff flying. You like, man, I can't do with that. You like,
I can't do that.
I can't do that one. That's a big turn off. You know, see a friend that's when you want to go see a movie and just laugh or something, that's when you call up, hey, we you know, well, ain't nothing, that's, oh. Like I said, that's being a little old, but you understand what I'm saying. The things you will pick up. Because these are the things that's gonna be intertwined. Yeah, well, you know what, the table man, he's sitting over there and he just eating food and in the process of eating, he talking. And stuff is flying all over the place. That's a turnoff. What you really be liking all, you know, me to get and stuff flying all over, like, oh, I can't even eat now. I'm full. Girl, you better eat some of that and take a fork and stab it in your plate as it coming out. You're like, oh. You're like,
I don't like nobody touching my food.
I'm not ready to deal with nobody like that. He might be cool and do it in other areas, but it ain't cool to go. You know, yeah, these are aspects. So take it slow, explore, find out. I see my sister with her hand up. I want to get it before she loses it, but I'm gonna get back to this, and that's what 7 years did. 7 years. 7 years. These two people found out a whole lot about each other in 7 years, and that's why I said also put down time.
Yes, sir.
People rush too quick today.
Yes, they do.
Meet you today, we got to get married tomorrow. No. Somebody told me, they said they went out and the young lady already said, let's get married. I said, yeah, you got to pump the brakes on that, Jack. You got to pump the brakes on that.
Yes, sir.
Baby, you don't even know me. You don't even know me. I could be a serial killer. I could be a person that just beat women. I could be a lot of everything you don't like, That's what I could be. And you done sat here with me for about 45 minutes and you want to marry me? That tell me something ain't all good there with you. Either you trying to catch me up in something, you got a plot or something. That's what I said about people can often, how they live and display themselves. They can tell you things about themselves, what I was saying earlier. Because that's don't even sound right. Huh? That's what you do in grade school, kindergarten, when your mind is underdeveloped. We married that little kindergartners. We married because they playing. No, this is serious business. So I got to say, no, I got to respectfully decline. You need to go home right now. That's what needs to happen. Yes, ma'am.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.
Your statement was so true. Sometimes, the Most High is so wonderful because when I didn't even know, about, Yah, the Most High, none of that, he was already, in my life preparing me for something because, me and my kids' dad, we were friends first. Me and my daughter, they dad, we were the best of friends first. We were, and when you are friends with someone that you like, before you get into it, if you're gonna, get into a relationship with them and you start out as friends first, it is a good thing because this is 20 plus years later, and right now today that we're not together, but we still have that great friendship. I'm not even gonna use the word good. I'm gonna say we have a great friendship. Me and my kids there, we do because in our friendship and in our life, all of us, even my husband and him have a great relationship, a great friendship, and that all stemmed from me and his friendship, So I think that he prepares you in life for that too, And as far as me and Hayakai, I feel like me and Hayakai were friends too. And before me and Hayakai even got married, we were together for like 8 years. Like before we even, and I used to get upset about, everybody around me is married and, they've been together for 3 years and they married. And then I see, they've been together for 3 years and they married, but after 5 years, they're divorced or they're not together no more. They're not even friends no more. They can't stand each other. The family is not, not even cordial with each other and things like that. So, I want to thank the Most High for everything that he put me through, just being with Haikai for that long before he even asked to marry me. And then, as I always say, like our separation for, the 8-9 months that we did, he brought us back even stronger, So I do believe that being friends first and, getting to know a person, they ins, they outs, even, the color they like, the foods that they will eat, they won't eat, things they're allergic to, how they family are, just different things about a person and yourself. You want to be able to open up to a person that you're going to be with. You don't want to have to, hide things from them or feel like you got tiptoe around them and certain things, scared to tell them this because they're going to react this way. And, so, being friends first is a great thing. At first I had a different outlook on it too. Like, what? I'm not about to be with nobody for no 5 years. We ain't even got married yet. No. Because I just, in these years that me and him, I have seen people come and go. And it's because they didn't even know each other.
Didn't even know each other.
I've been dating a person for 1 or 2 years and they done got married and you didn't even know that this person couldn't even eat the color orange. Like, crazy stuff. Like, or didn't even know that woman always, would confide in her single friends, or that man had all these, these issues, and or he was a so-called mama's boy or whatever, just these things that's coming up now. When if you would have just waited and became and built a friendship, and got to know each other, then maybe things would have turned out a lot different. So, I want to praise y'all and thank him for everything that he's put me through to get to, to where we are at today. Even with the bad things, the things that made me cry and everything, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And and that's so true, because friend, you can call it friendship. You can also call it companionship. Because let me tell you, remember earlier we talked about the cycle of life, and it come full circle to
Yes,
what?
sir.
To death. And I pray that people always hear me. And I say, if you don't ask questions, but hear me, because everything is a process. Life is a process. Everything is a process. And in the circle, even of relationships, especially when you are looking to be invested with somebody for life, the relationship, and this is what's not taught, the relationship goes through a process. There's the process of where you get together. There's a process of being young in a relationship and doing things that a young relationship holds for you to do. Then there's the process of the relationship growing and evolving. And then there's the process of where it comes to its last stage. But let me tell you something. You want to seek friendship and companionship starting off the relationship, because as it comes back full circle, guess what you come back to? You come back to friendship and companionship.
Yes, sir.
That overrides everything. So if you did not have that in the beginning, it's going to be hard for you to come back to it in the end.
Yes, sir.
But the older you get in the relationship, the more years you put together in the relationship, you're going to find that you're coming back to companionship and friendship.
Yes, sir.
When all the physical is exhausted.
Yes, sir.
That's what I was talking about earlier. A lot of relationships get built on the wrong thing.
Yes, sir.
It's built on something that can't last and stand the test of time. Because when the physical aspects and functionalities start to wear away, like Mother Sarah asked the Almighty, she said, now that we old, we've been many years. We've been 100 years, 90 years, not having a child. Because of the way of a woman and the anatomy of a woman, I cease to even be in that manner.
Yes, sir.
My fruitful days, they're gone. Where my body prepared me to receive seed from man, that's gone. I stopped having that function in my body. So it's not really even a case physically where I should even be expecting something like that to happen.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
If that, and that's what she said, should we now have pleasure? And she wasn't even just talking, and she was talking to many folks. I know some teachers are going to probably have this, brother, almost saying, she was talking to many folks. The pleasure that one have when you bring the aspect of being together like that.
Yes, sir.
But the pleasure of producing a child.
Yes, sir.
But the pleasure of raising the child.
Yes, sir.
All this what she mean by, should we have pleasure? Oh,
yes,
should
sir.
we have pleasure? Who? He's 100 years old. Who gonna get up and run after the boy? When he want to play kickball, who gonna play kickball with you? You telling me Abraham gonna go out there in the field and play kickball with him, and he 100 years old?
He'll be out there running like a lamb.
You're telling me that I'm 90 years old and I'm gonna love this little thing laying on my breast, coming one. And I look for stuff to come out and ain't nothing happening. And you're telling me that I'm going to have pleasure in giving child stuff? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I know you're about that, but I can't buy that.
Hallelujah.
And she laughed, and the Almighty, it show you insight to y'all that he's not this terrible mean other he said, yes, she laughing. Your wife back there laughing. She think it's hilarious. And I understand why she think it's hilarious. Because given most occasions, anybody gonna think. Go to a nursing home and tell somebody that you're gonna have a baby in 9 months. They be like, everybody in the nursing home laugh at you. Yeah, you and Jones from from room C5, y'all gonna conceive. And they gonna laugh you out of that joint. Because it's not even after the manner. She said after we done with that. I'm not even after the manner of women, where it's physiologically, anatomically possible for that to happen. And I bring that up because if they did not have a marriage built just on, or if it was only built on physical pleasure, then they would not have lasted. He would not have been with her, seeking to only be with her. Because remember, he didn't seek out Hagar. Hagar was given to him. Yes, he resisted. The only woman he wanted to be with was the same woman he fell in love with so many years ago. And that's because in the beginning, they had a true essence and a true love. And it lasted them all the way up until he put her in the sepulcher and closed and sealed the sepulcher. And yes, he married another woman some years after that. But his love, ask anybody, his love was for the first Sarah. And it's because they had what was true. They had the essence. It took time. It was attraction. It was companionship. It was time. It was adjusting and readjusting. We here in the marriage, but let's readjust it and figure out what we have to do to get there. That's another thing that caveat that breaks up marriages. Sometimes people don't want to figure out what to do to keep it going. So write that down. It's work.
Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
It's work.
Hallelujah.
The most work you're going to do in your life is to be married.
Yes, sir.
See, nobody likes to teach this kind of teaching.
Hallelujah.
They just like, we slap people together and off they go. Then we disappointed when they come back. I can't stand it, like you said. But it'll take work. It takes work. It takes the husband looking at himself and saying, man, some things need to be readjusted to make this relationship better. It takes the wife looking at herself and saying, some things need to be readjusted to make this relationship better.
Yes, sir.
Then both of them come in together and say, this is what I found out about me that I'm willing to work on. Well, this is what I found about me that I'm willing to work on. And then we're going to work together.
Hallelujah.
It takes work. There's a difference in wanting to get married and be married.
Yes, sir.
When you want to get married, that takes you to the altar. That takes you through the ceremony. That takes you through up the bridesmaids and throwing the flowers. To be married, that takes you the rest of your days with that person.
Hallelujah.
You have to want to be married.
Hallelujah.
The moment you don't want to be married, you're ready to check out.
Yes, sir.
You have to want to be married. And anything you want, you'll go after it.
And work for it.
And you'll work for it.
Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
You'll sacrifice for it. You'll make changes for it. But where there is no change of heart, Scripture say where there's no changes, ain't nothing gonna get fixed. Best thing when I got married early in my, and I went to my predecessor, and he said, Brother Aaron, he said, y'all here? And he didn't start with my wife. He started with me. He said, you here? I said, yeah. He said, you know about here? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. He talking about something. He said, well, that's a shame. I said, huh? He said, you should know why you here. See, that's what I'm talking about. He knew me though. So he would talk to me like that. Now another couple he might have went in that another way. But because our relationship, he didn't pull no punches. And because of what he prospectively saw. So he brought all his force down on me. He said, that's a shame. He said, then you're the problem. And I'm sitting there, now at the time I'm sitting there like this. Oh, I don't care. His barbershop more right or nothing. I've been all to get up here and I'm a young man. And she tripping. Nah. If you don't come in this door knowing what's wrong with you, that you can fix about yourself, then truly you have the problem. That's the wisdom. When there's a problem, always look to yourself. Because the solutions lie with you. They lie with you. The solution always gonna lie with you. But so many times we look at others. No. Attraction. When we talk about attraction, attraction is knowing what you want. How can you know what they to give you if you don't know what you want? That's the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say women, not enough sister here, but it is one sister here. But I tell my brother, it ain't even always time about the prettiest man, that you the most handsome. But a lot of women, I heard them, a lot of women talk, I heard them say, oh, and he might not be, but he's so confident. He's so confident. And for some reason, they find that. They attracted him. He's just so confident. It's an over. Ain't that not dead? They just so confident. And I sat when I heard them talking, I'm like, that's he confident. They talking about somebody else. I'm like, he confident. So when I get up, I'll be like, because I heard them say what they like now. So I'm like, hey, they wasn't talking about me yet, but I'm like, confidence. Let me write that down. They confident.
Hallelujah.
They confident. See, I learned to listen. To listen.
Yes, sir.
Huh? They ain't talking about me, but I know that what they talking. Yeah. Let me write that down. Confident. Huh? This is what they like. Well, this is what you have to have. That's why I often teach, you will not know what you want or what you should have until you know who you are and what you're about. And that's why I raised these three boys. It's not about going to find somebody seriously right now, because I'm sure you ain't even found out about yourself.
That's right.
So you don't even really know what you want.
Exactly.
I told my brother earlier, I said, nah. I said, my brother didn't imply, but he was just talking 20 years old. I said, no, 20 years old was just the time that the Almighty put, that a young man, a child, is coming out of childhood and entering into manhood.
We can go to war.
And can go to war. But that meant nothing about at 20 years old, you just slap him out there and find him a young girl and they get married.
Not at all.
Most of our successful men did not marry until they were in their late 30s and early 40s.
Yes, sir.
It's called the flower of the age of your life. Because they needed that time to find out so much about themselves and become settled. They're still unsettled. And that's another thing that's plaguing our young folks. They're marrying so early and they're so unsettled. They're so unsettled. He don't know what he wants. Now how they know what she wants? And if they don't have anybody to hold them together, that thing gonna go belly up.
Yes, sir. Quick.
And like I said, keep your outside influences.
Yes.
Notice, counseling and influences, those two different things. Keep your outside influences, not counselors. Not people that have your best interest in heart, but your outside influences. Keep them to a minimum. The son is said, and I'll tell y'all who sung that song. I got it from the elder, my beloved elder, because I listened to it. I know he likes it. B.B. King.
Okay.
I like to live the love that I sing about in my song. And he said, outside influences should always be forbidden. Don't look at everything and let it influence your relationship. And let everybody in your relationship giving you bad advice. This is what I wouldn't tolerate. This is what I would. This is what I would. No. Them influences, yeah, that's because this generation has not been taught this. And part of teaching is also living.
Yes, sir.
See, and you're right. I come from another school, so I learned this not only being spoken to me, but I learned it in practice.
Insight. Yes,
I
sir.
saw how things was kept
Yes, sir.
in the house.
Yes, sir. And they don't got that
Then
today.
get out the house.
They don't get that today.
Whatever the friction was, it was kept in the house.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me and your daddy, we got beef. But guess what? You ain't gonna say nothing about it. And ain't nobody else in here gonna say nothing about it. Whatever the beef is. And when we walk out these doors, ain't nobody gonna know we got beef. I'm smiling, he's smiling. So it's all in practice. Something that is not demonstrated today.
Not at all.
So it brings them to a great disadvantage. And that's why I had, knowing what I know, and hopefully other teachers, and if we concerned with what's going on, want to turn around or help turn around like the Almighty Word said we should be doing, we have to teach like this. We have to teach like this. Even if not saving ourselves, to save the generation that come after us. Because so many now come, don't even, like I said, I know it, don't even know what marriage is. Haven't seen a great or successful one, or enough of them. So you're very discouraged already. Well, what's the point in even getting married? That's the question they ask themselves.
There's a lot of them saying they just shacking up.
Well, now they're saying, well, we just friends with benefits. Friend with benefits? Yeah, when I, benefits. Yeah, no. So, and like I said, there's no magical answer. You say how you tell the difference between someone who should stay just a friend versus someone who is deserving of being with you. As we close out, and this ain't gonna be the last time I speak on this. How do you tell? Like I said, number one, time. Stop rushing. Stop rushing, brothers and sisters. Stop rushing, the sisters, because that's another thing. I'm not gonna back off no more. Cause I'm here to let the sisters know y'all make just as many mistakes as the brothers have made. Then you want to put everything on the brothers, and everybody is to blame. You're rushing into things just like he rushed.
Yes, sir.
Like I told you, the moment you say yes, we can go out, his mind is already at the destination. When you said yeah, we can go out. When you said yes, we can go out. You might as well skip the show, skip dinner, skip everything, and just took him right to a hotel or something, because that's where his mind is at in most cases. That's what he done seen. The pathway is clear. Like the plane. Just let land that bad boy. That's the only thing he got on his mind. So you If that's not the pathway, it is not where, then you have to take onus and slow this train down. Wait a minute, I said dinner. You can't handle us on dinner, then we can't, because that's all I said. And it works vice versa. Because like I said,
Yes, sir.
it works vice versa.
Yes, it do.
Even scriptures let us know that. It works vice versa. Everything ain't always a young man initiate stuff.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes that girl get him in private and she throwing a leg over his legs and breathing on his neck. And hey, what you think? Like I said, is he like, hey, he's sweating. Hey. You get to sticking a tongue in the air like a little lizard or something. He's like, oh, he gone now. He just shaking and what do I do? And men ain't strong. Ain't just few Josephs, few Boaz, huh? I said, because I confess. They put the right one, throw his leg on it. I'm like, I'm praying. Y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. For I know not. Oh, you do know. You can get some dough. You're not this strong. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set yourself up for failure. Especially if it's been a long time. A long time. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't. It's been some years and you thought I'm strong. Yeah,
you ain't strong.
You back that thing on you. You be sweating like a Baptist minister in 100-degree temperature. No, don't do that to yourself. No, you weak. Huh?
Yes, sir.
And realize it.
Yes,
Girl,
sir.
you gotta go home. Yeah, my mama called me. I gotta go run over there. That's when I drop you off. Anything.
Hallelujah.
Don't do that. See, this is good teaching. It's called understanding. It's called leaning on the Almighty. All through the scriptures, the righteous, they able to confess this. They able to confess this. David said, clear me of my secret faults. David said, help, I'm weak, help me. They able to, these things that we struggle with, they able to do this. They're leaning on Yah. So just a few of the things today. Let time be your friend. Let companionship and the aiming at companionship, true companionship. Because if it's true companionship, then all the other stuff, then the relationship will flow. It'll be so natural, it's scary. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. It just, tell you the truth, if it's true companionship, you won't even know how it's evolving into something more. Won't even know it. Won't even know it. Just a beautiful thing will come out of it. But it's the right things to look for. It's all the right things to look for. I know they're going to kill me because I didn't even get to that question again, but I'm going to get to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to it. And all this is kind of goes along with it. Because let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this. Because it keeps, the more I keep studying on it, maybe that's why I should only get to it. It keeps morphing how to teach it. Because I have a very, well, it shouldn't be no great secret. It shouldn't be no great secret. But it might be. Because the truth of the matter, as I study the scriptures, sex was such a small part in the life of an Israelite that it's not even funny. Now, for most of our ears, That's hurtful. But it's only hurtful because our mind have been messed up. And that's what drives everything nowadays.
Yes, sir.
Because when we watch TV, that's what drives relationships.
Yes, sir.
When we listen to music, that's what drives relationships. So now we have a warped sense of reality that the most important part of a relationship is sex. Because everything is sex, 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 sex. But I'm going to be here, God's will, to show you the part that sex played in the lives of the righteous amongst Israel and how minuscule it was in our relationships compared to true relationships. Not that it didn't have its place and its phases, and it wasn't always a procreation, but it had its place. And as we walk through the scriptures, you're going to see it was not the predominant thought in the relationship of an Israelite man and woman as it is today in the land and in captivity and in the state of being that we eat, not among the righteous. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Any final comments?
Great class, Moray.
Well, praise Yah. I
Hallelujah.
want to thank everybody that joined in. And I know probably many are saying, man, they talking about these things all the time, every week. But apparently, this is what people need. And I'm going to tend to what people need. These are the questions they ask, and these are the questions that I'm going to answer. Like I said, sure, I can come in here with a pre-denoted lesson and teach you what I want to teach you. But that might not be what helps somebody here or what helps somebody on the internet. And again, that's why I encourage our internet out there. Write your questions, send them in. We will get to them. Even if it takes us a couple weeks, we gonna get to them. Because they're pertinent to you. And I'm not going to intentionally try to skip this question next week, y'all will. Because like I said, it's so much that even go beyond how this question was written. And every time I study it during the course of the week, the Almighty keeps feeding me with, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. And so my mind is actually kind of like, because it's just that question from the other week stemmed a great deal, stimulated the mind a great deal. Stimulated the mind a great deal. So I'm chomping at the bit to get to it. Don't think I'm not. But like I said, I just keep getting and seeing it more and more and more. Won't come out no pamphlets. Gonna come right out the book. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
There's no other comments or questions, though. Let us stand for this day has drawn to an end. Again, we want to thank everybody. I'm going to call the young man up that assists me in closing out. I pray that everybody receives some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding until the end. That this day was fruitful and blessed for you. You see something out of it. I pray that the Almighty will continually be with you, guide you, lead you, and protect you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Gentlemen,
Shema,
Shema
Israel,
Israel,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aka,
Aka,
Hear
hear Israel, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh is one.
Ye Baraka, Yahweh is Baraka, Yahweh. Peneleka watunika. Yes, Yahweh, Peneleka. Waisim Leka Shalom.
Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Thou make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Thou may lift up his countenance and give us peace. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yahweh. Yah is righteous all the time, both day and night. Hallelujah. Great cry for it.